is Tier 3 Week 3. Tonight we have Sandbagging Smurfs versus Tater, Tots, and you have Jibba and Geltech.
Hello, everyone.
God,
Excited to be casting again. It's been a while.
we always love having you cast.
Thanks. Well, I did a bit of research before this because all these players are new. So, Sandbagging Smurfs 0-2, Tater Tots 1-1. Could go either way, of course. From what I've seen is Sandbagging Smurf definitely has the individual talent, but their coordination was a little bit off. But that's the type of problems that you'd rather have, as practice can help fix that. So get a pause check. Dabrella first. Nice, nice. She was ready. So yeah, anyone in particular stands out to you we should be looking for here in this matchup?
Bambi has always been on tank within the league, so he'll be somebody to kind of watch for to see how he kind of leads his team. I know Zooms has always previously been a support player for the league, so seeing her move over to tank is interesting. Psycho and Dylan on DPS will be a good matchup. But I also do think on the side of Taters, Red Hood Kitty has been doing a very good job on tank herself, so kind of interested to see whose tank line is going to come out on top here.
Yeah, I've seen that. We have a mirror Symmetra, which is not surprising at all, especially on Lijiang Tower. And they just get right into it. It's Immo Fields that has to be dropped immediately on the side of Tater Tots as Bambi's very aggressive pushing around this corner. Then answering Immo Field before Sandbagging Smurf comes out. Bambi catches out Emmy Mouse very quick. That was incredibly aggressive. And I think what happened there is Blue ended up trying to take a flank angle while the rest of his team swung right side, and it didn't really work out. So first cap goes to Sandbagging Smurfs.
Yeah, did a really good job of playing coordinated there around Bambi's shield and kind of pulling back and using the environment to their advantage.
Yeah, for sure. And Zomdil in there, full charge most of the fight. He already almost has a Symmetra wall well ahead of Maka here. He's gonna be able to put this out almost immediately as soon as Tater Tots try to push. I think they're waiting for a TP. We have okay, no, they flop off from the Symmetra to the Pharah, which is a pretty good swap here if you ask me. It's gonna be hard to retake this otherwise, and it looks like they're sort of, I guess, waiting for a pick. 30% down, and not a lot has happened so far.
Yeah, that fire is looking to kind of get some back angles here on them, do a little bit of damage, but
it's just too slow, because in the front line, Zomdillin's teleporting in with, again, another aggressive play, and he's beaming everybody down. A very nice flank TP comes behind, and Bambi here, just the tank veteran, is taking no prisoners as he's swinging, and I guess the heals is just not enough to keep up the tanks on the side of Tater Tots. Mock on that flank angle, I don't think quite could get all the way down that hallway.
did see the good use of hammer down from Bambi when Bad Reed shield was down there.
Oh, the beautiful wall account of the Earthshatter. You hate to see it as Reed's drops the hammer, but okay, well actually, it's really Outer Heaven's Tire that seals the deal. I guess adds a little bit of injury to insult, rather, as, again, you hate to have your Earthshatter blocked by a Symmetra wall, but it happens there. And unfortunately, not only does it block the Earthshatter, but it blocks Blue's High Noon. High Noon ends up taking out the wall, but it's too late as Outer Heaven's Riptire was huge. And now we have a lot of swaps. Bad Reed's on the Monkey, basically for the last push. I actually like Monkey here. Can get a lot of cleave damage. Excuse me. Juno has Beat Drop, and Emmy Mouse has the window. They have to get a good angle though. They have to even get to the point for this to even matter. They don't have TP. Reed charges in. It's OLA'd by Blue, who had to use his fade. And window comes right in the middle of the point. Justice is raining from above. That's an excellent angle for Maka as she's too high up to get killed. Red Hood Kitty does end up getting a kill with Diva Bomb. Answered from Zoom Batty on to kill the Bad Reeds, and now it's anybody's game. It's an absolute brawl at the point here. Zoom Batty is dealing a lot of damage as his Diva Bomb comes in and finds a good angle, and Emmy Mouse has nowhere to go. And at this point, I think it is definitely going to be Sandbagging Smurfs round here, as you've got Juno doing his best to stall, but unfortunately, stalling is not good enough in a scenario like this. You need to get kills, and that is not going to happen.
I really like the coordination that we saw from Taters on touching that point kind of last minute, though. We did see Blue sort of teleport in, take the heat, and pull them all back into like a small group, and then from there, Bad Reeds kind of followed in while Blue got out to sort of recuperate some health.
Yeah, it was very well played, and I like already what we're seeing from Sandbagging Smurfs. Very decisive gameplay here. Again, I watched their last game they had where they lost fairly decidedly, and they were playing like a little slow, a little confused, and I think it looks like they've been practicing in the interim of the last week as we swap from the most open of the three maps to the most closed. So we're going to see some swaps here. Maka's going to go on to the May, and well, it's about the only swap actually on the field here. No more air superiority or Symmetras. Probably going to meet on the staircase here. Maka's looking for a big wall. Outer Heaven's looking to pump and damage his Junkrat as everyone's all clumped up. Reinhardt's clash almost immediately, and another early immortality field. The second time that Tater Tots have used Immo almost immediately, and Bambi, it's as if Bambi is buffed somehow, where he seems to be taking less damage than the other tank. He can swing with very little consequences. Red Hood Kitty, full charge, but just eats that fire strike to the face, and Tater Tots are forced to retreat.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we're definitely seeing is the battle between Bambi and Reed. Reed is really losing health fairly quickly. I'm not sure if maybe just a stronger support sustainability might be needed for Taters. Because, you know, they have to use these Immorts very quickly in order to keep him up and going.
Yeah, and I mean, they're definitely healing a lot. Juno already has dropped the beat in this early on, meaning that Juno was probably on heals that entire fight. It's just the overwhelming damage from a Junkrat and a McCree is just... Oh, that's a beautiful Earth Shatter in the choke. Bambi, you love to see it again. This so far has been kind of the Bambi show. He's getting a lot of support here from his supports. But an Earth Shatter like that, winning the fight that cleanly is so good for them. They have 3 ultimates. Junkrat's Riptire in this choke is enough to win this fight on its own unless MMO's is ready with Immortality Field. Windows early on, and it catches Outer Heaven. That is the perfect pick onto Junkrat. No resurrections this time, as no mercies are in play. And Reed, well, he's had enough of the Bambi show, and it's the Reed show. Now he gets his own fatty shatty. That's probably going to spell the end of this fight as Tater Tots, well, they're eventually going to take the, Zumbatti's going to shed off and get the kill onto blue, but it will probably be the end. As I say that, Outer Heaven is back, gets a cheeky kill on his own. He's probably going to pay for it with his life. Bambi's here. I guess it's definitely worth the staggers.
Yeah, it seems as if they want to kind of stagger this, and I'm not sure if just to keep point as long as possible, or to kind of get everyone back, and that is crazy.
Well, wait a minute. I mean, Bambi gets a charge somehow onto a Lucio, who is very typically not high enough to, or not low enough on the ground to even get the charge, and Emmy, I don't think was expecting it, wasn't there with the Immortality Field, and I mean, Sandbagging and Smurfs are still holding on to this point. They never even lost it. That stall is something that you see typically in teams that are very confident of the ability to outplay the other team in terms of 1v1 scenarios, and they actually really did it well there. Blue's doing his best, but I mean, there's a deep in your face, you can't really do much. Beat drop comes out from Juno, but it only catches 3, and Zombdillen with the high noon is going to make Reed's forced to hold up his shield as long as he can. Shadow goes down, but Bambi's good for the block this time. Now the solo Graviton surge onto Zoom's baddie probably is going to be enough. Well, maybe it will be enough. Yeah, it looks like they're going to be able to take it back 99%, but they won that fight 50% ago, Jibba, and the stall from Sandbagging Smurfs was very impressive.
Something also that I do want to touch that we saw Smurfs do, they got a lot of Taters to switch to different characters and use up majority of their ultimates, whereas coming into this fight, Sandbagging Smurfs have almost 3 to 4 ultimates online, depending on how quickly they can build up this Riptire.
Yep. Very efficient with their ults, having used the Baron Limiter to win these fights is working well. Window comes out early, it's very perfectly placed. Their counter window comes out, sort of facing each other. The Zumbattie goes for the bomb, and it does succeed in the primary task of getting out Ammo Field, which Honey Biscuit then senses blood in the water and gets down every mouse when the Ammo Field is gone. Earth Shatter doesn't catch anybody. Bad Reads with another charge kill onto Lucio. They're skating too low on this map, as that's pretty rare. Zumbattie does kill out Bad Reads, and now it's an all-out brawl, but it's looking like it's going the way of the Sandbagging Smurfs. There's only Juno and Red Hood Kitty is left, and now everyone's gone. And this that Riptire is basically going to seal the Omog comes back as Sombra, but it's really just to trigger overtime. I'm not sure how they can win this one. Tater, Tots, yeah, they can't even touch. First game goes to Sandbagging Smurfs.
I think one of the differences that we're seeing is that Sandbagging Smurfs definitely have a super aggressive play style, and they play very well around Bambi and play into that. Like you said, the amount of damage that they just put in from behind his shield, it's kind of causing Taters to sort of play a little more on their back foot, and I think they'll be fine if they just meet them as aggressively.
So is is it loser chooses map, or is it's a defined map pool,
Nope,
correct?
we have defined map pools right now. Yep.
Okay. So where are we going?
We are going to Eichenwald.
Eichenwald. Okay. Because if you're the Taters, you kind of want the map to open up. I would expect, because they're getting pelted by these close quarters Symmetras and Junkrats, and they need a little breathing space. I know Reed certainly is begging for some breathing space as he's getting pelted so hard. So unfortunately, Eichenwald is pretty good for Junkrats, but at least there's more verticality. They can try that Pharah again, see if they can get something going a little earlier, I suppose.
Yeah, and especially if they do decide to pair this Pharah with a Mercy, but they do need to be careful because at one point I was just on last map, I was spectating Dylan, and he is very accurate in tracking down Maka on the Sombra. One shot kind of kill. I think she was already a little bit weak, but I do know Dylan is a very accurate sort of hit scan. So not someone that you kind of want to take one-on-one without having a little bit of help if you're playing on Pharah.
Yeah, and it might be some scouting out of the Sandbagging Smurfs, as Maka's Sombra has been doing a lot of work so far this season when she has put it out. She's uh, not only does she get good hacks, she's pretty deadly with it, which is something is a little bit rare to see in a Sombra, the ability to actually frag out while they're also hacking. So good tracking. It's smart to track where the Sombra is, and I think honestly, Tater Tots look like they're a little concussed by the decisive, aggressive play from Sandbagging Smurfs. I mean, just the play there, we saw play the game. Bambi's not waiting. They're not playing reactively. They're not waiting for Tater Tots to make a play. As soon as they're in the choke, Bambi's jumping around the corner for an Earth Shatter, and I think Tater Tots are just, at the moment, they're not prepared for this pace that the game has been set. But that's why we don't only play one map, Jibba. That is why we play a full set, so teams can adjust. They won't get surprised again, perhaps, maybe, now that they know, Sandbagging Smurfs have came to play. They've come to win, and they're gonna have to up their pace.
Yeah. And we do have quite a few swaps on the side of Tater. So we have Flanagan coming in for Reeds. Yuki Yoshida is also coming in, who I do remember from last season, also a very good hit scan. So kind of would be interested to see if this is going to be a Yuki versus Zombie Dylan kind of battle. And then we have Frosty and Shoya coming in. Not too sure on those two because I think Frosty is actually a new pickup for Taters. So really interested to see what they're going to be bringing to this game.
Huh. Am I? It sounds like I might be a little quiet. Chad, is my mic quiet? Please weigh in here so I can adjust accordingly. I mean, you can hear me, right, Jiva?
I can hear you. Yep.
My audio is, the level is adequate.
Yeah, it sounds good to me. Dab says you sound good over there too. So.
Okay. Okay, good. Nothing worse than talking nonstop for 2 hours only to know
that no one could hear you.
um,
You've just been a quiet little
okay,
mouse.
I'm a little quiet. Okay. Let's see. That might be on your end.
On my end, what do I gotta do?
Like
Party settings?
prioritizing party chat a little higher up than, because I have mine turned all the way up, I believe. Let's see. Okay. I turned it up a little bit.
The audio mix is all the way
out. Okay, I'll turn it up a little bit more. Hopefully that's good. But anyways.
Okay, so now we have Budweiser coming in. So it looks like we're getting a completely different tank line here on the side of Sandbagging Smurf. So we'll be interested to see if Budweiser and Alchemist, how synergized these two are in comparison to how Bambi and Zooms were. Nope.
With how successful that first map was, you got to think this means they're looking to flex to maybe other tanks. They've got some Eichenwald specific plays in mind. Maybe they want to. Oh well.
Yep, they're changing it up again.
Okay, they want Bambi. Not too surprising. He was doing quite well. Mr. Gamer Kirby says Budweiser feeds, easy win for Taters. Okay. Can you put Budweiser back in, please?
Budweiser definitely plays aggressively. So I do think that Jibs is just louder. Oh, thanks, Deb. I do think that Bambi's a good call. He's got a very even kind of head on him, and knows when to play aggressively and knows when to sort of come back here. So we have one ready. Just looking for the next one.
Well, that was fast. I hope these other maps a little more competitive, so we're not here, in a 45-minute match here. I don't think it'll be that decisive for the rest of the maps. I think Tater Tots will at least be able to adjust the pacing a bit. Um, and again, the other thing was there was two fights in a row where Immortality Field had to be used almost immediately on the side of Tater Tots. It was so quick. It might be just nerves causing the field to go out so early, or it might truly be that people are getting bursted down to sub 20% HP that fast on the side of Tater Tots. But it really does cost them. And the first fight on control maps are so crucial. The forget the stat, but there's a stat out there, at least in OWL, where the team that wins the first fight on a map, they're going to win that map on a control map much more often. So
Sort of determines the course of the rest of the game
right,
playing
yeah,
out.
the snowball with the ultimates and the chokes that you can use ends up going their way, and that's what we saw on the first map. But we're no longer on a control map. A payload is involved, so that might go favorably side of Tater Tots. Yes, it is 1-0 side of Sandbagging Smurfs. They are done sandbagging apparently. They've started to Smurf because this is quite good today. Thank indeed. Okay. Let's see. On the side of Tater Tots attack, we have Ryan Diva. Not too surprising. We see this on both sides. Not that there's a ton of synergy between the two, but they're both individually fairly strong, especially on... I mean, Diva just is almost always strong. The flexibility with the defense matrix and boosters make her almost never a truly bad pick, and Reinhardt's good for maps that have tight chokes, such as Eichenwald. So, however, the difference we see here is Frosty Fusion is on Zenyatta, whereas on the other side we're going to have X-Flames on the Lucio. So a bit more focus fire and damage coming on the side of Tater Tots, I guess, to make up to compensate for how the first map went. And we have Outer Heaven on that Junkrat again. It was working very well. Meeting the choke. We're going to spam for a while, I suspect, before a play goes on, especially without a sim to TP. They're going to look for a opening as both shields are getting a little bit low. Okay. Flanagan goes in perhaps a little too aggressively and bites the dust. Swings sort of to his death. He's just learning to... I suppose that, he just got subbed in. He's learning the pace that Sandbagging Smurfs are setting, and you can't swing for too long or you're going to get deleted like that.
I like that swap from Kitty. She did not have too much out charge there, and she was out of mech, so switched over to Orisa real quick just to get the mech back without having to jump off.
Zoomsbatty does the same thing, it looks like, but the spawn for Zoomsbatty is going to be much farther. Tater Tots can take advantage of this if they want to. If they can speed in, they don't have Lucio, but if they can make it to the point fast enough, Window does come out from Kazurai, which is going to slow down Tater Tots a little bit. In fact, it's going to slow him down a lot if Outer Heaven gets one shot onto Blue. Here comes Riptire from the side. It catches Red Hood Kitty, which means now Tater Tots are in full retreat, but they've got nowhere to go. They're in a corner. At this point, there's only one way out, and it's the long way. Shoya's getting kind of stalled out, unfortunately. Bambi gets the charge there. And this is not good if you're the Tater Tots. It's pretty good if you're Sandbagging Smurfs, as only 2 ults were used and they ended up winning that fight. Bambi's got another Shatter, and so far Bambi's been pretty deadly with these Earth Shatters. Only Transcendence down. Yep, and yet another very deadly Earth Shatter from Bambi. Catches 3. Transcendence, however, comes out before anyone can capitalize. Bambi, suddenly, after a great Shatter, finds himself in no man's land. He's all by himself. Immortality comes out, but it's a little bit too slow. Earth Shatter response from Flanagan catches enough people to clean up, and just like that, this first point is going to be captured by the Tater Tots.
Yeah, that was really nice patience from Taters to kind of wait that out and sort of draw Bambi in there. The Shatter was a really good one from Bambi, but we did see a nice Immort field from Shoya.
Yeah, it was really off of the hubris of Sandbagging Smurfs that they were able to take that, as Bambi, feeling himself maybe a little too much, he ends up charging. I think he sort of expected Tater Tots to crumble there, but some good support after the shatters with that Transcendence meant that Bambi ended up way too out of position, and once Bambi's done, that was sort of the backbone of the team. We see a bit of verticality happen here. I think they're a little confused. Outer Heaven is shooting directly above most of the Tots, not straight down where they actually are, but at the choke. At this point, the cart's just slowly moving. No one's really getting a pick. I say that as soon as I do, X-Flames does get a little out of position. A nice Helix rocket from Blue takes him down. And in response, we're going to see both a bomb from Zoom's baddie and the Riptire to sort of make sure this fight doesn't go awry from Blue's initial Helix rocket kill.
Yeah, I think Sandbagging Smurf they're set up in a good spot to have control of this payload and sort of be able to use the castle to their advantage to kind of duck in and out while having the high ground now.
Yeah, this is brutal. I mean, it's such a good place for Sandbagging Smurfs to be. They've got D.Va who can play on both levels. They've got a Junkrat and a McCree on the high ground who can just pelt damage down. And exactly like that, what do you do if you're a Zenyatta? You're trying to make it through this choke, but you've got so much space you have to cross out in the open, and a Junkrat and McCree are just absolutely pelting you. We see a flank coming out from Yuki Yoshida, though. They don't know he's there. He's able to delete X-Flames, or she rather, he deletes two before they goes down. Unfortunately, they do fall off the map, but it's going to be enough. It opens the map right open as Red Hood Kitty is able to get a double kill with that D.Va bomb. And an excellent flank from Yuki Yoshida. That is exactly what the Tater Tots needed to sort of uproot Sandbagging Smurfs off of that castle.
And again, they were able to get Zooms kind of out of mech, forcing her to kind of jump off just to get back into mech as quickly as possible. Gives them a lot of space here to move across the bridge.
Great play. Earthshatter is interrupted. Yuki Yoshida with another pick. This choke is very excellent for a Junkrat to be in. Yuki Yoshida is just killing everybody here. This an excellent performance. Almost has another Riptire here, and both support ults are up for the side of Sandbagging Smurfs at least to respond to the Riptire. Blue's got an ultimate. I'm not expecting too much of a soldier ult at this point against a D.Va Rhine. Well, I guess if you pair it with a window, it might be able to get work, but they don't even need it, as the window on its own is enough for them to cause Transcendence to come out from Frosty Fusion. Outer Heaven with a pick onto Yuki Yoshida. Now, I mean, it's really, I guess at this point, just a Junkrat show. So much damage in these small chokes. Out comes the Tactical Visor from Blue, but it's really just a visor to retreat from, and that is a stabilization on the side of the Sandbagging Smurfs. Down goes Red Hood Kitty. It's probably good. Didn't want her to get staggered, so
no.
she took out, went off the edge.
Very smart to see those kinds of plays from both D.Vas on both sides.
Yeah, we've all been staggered. It is not a fun experience, and less fun when you know you're being watched. So good play there. 2 minutes 20 seconds on the clock as we're halfway through point 3, and a couple good ultimates here on the side of Tater Tots will seal the deal, but Sandbagging Smurfs will sure not go out without a fight, as Zomdillon is turned in his corner with a high noon. Unfortunately, D.Va exists, and she's the fun police, so that gets completely eaten up and negated. And I guess at this point, we're sort of just waiting for ults to build up. Now the team really wants to commit too much. Flanagan is going in a little bit too far. Ends up not dying quite yet, but Outer Heaven gets the pick. Again, Junkrat spamming into this corner is so deadly. I think, you know, people like believe Zenyatta got killed at Frosty Fusion, probably just on some random thrice bounced grenade that just blew them up, and it's just hard to deal with. You really got to keep track where that Junkrat is.
Good patience from Smurfs to wait to use those two ults to make sure the Immort's down, which, you know, was out quickly and then down, but using both the D.Va Bomb and the Junkrat Tire at the same time is a little questionable in my opinion, especially when Taters were already kind of retreating out of that fight.
Yeah.
Having one of them for this here could be beneficial.
Excellent heads up play by Bambi. Flanagan charges in, which leaves the rest of his team completely exposed, and Bambi takes advantage with a nice Earth Shatter. That fight's over with only one ult used.
And they were able to chase down Frosty right after using Transcendence and get that final blow on him.
Yeah, Flanagan a little antsy here, I think, to get kills to frag out, and he's gonna get punished if he goes for you know, charges like that. Unforced errors is gonna cause, you know, the rest of his team to die, especially on a map like Eichenwald where everyone's so bottled up into this choke. I think we're gonna see a bit more spilling out now as Blue, again, Blue's doing a very good job on Soldier getting picks. It's hard to do against this comp, but he's doing quite well. And Flanagan charges in, this time he doesn't get punished for it. We're all getting ready for a shot from Yuki Yoshido, but the shot doesn't show up because Zomdilin can aim, and down goes the Riptire before it actually can detonate. Yuki Yoshida's not done though, she just gets a kill with the Concussive Mine. Outer Heaven though is still alive, and as long as the Junkrat's alive, triple kills are to be had. However, the triple kills this time are coming out from the side of Tater Tots, as now it's just a stagger aim coming out from Sandbagging Smurfs, and it was looking like it could be a full cap from the Tater Tots. Beat drop comes out from X-Blade, but it's really just a stall beat drop. Is it going to be enough though? Spawn advantage on Sandbagging Smurfs might be enough. In comes Bamboo with the charge, hits nobody. Outer Heaven's still alive. The tactical visor from Blue in the back is going to make it really hard for the stall to actually work, especially with the Tracer. Ooh, nice fire strike from Flanagan seals the deal. And a full cap coming out of Tater Tots.
Was almost worried for a second there because we saw how well that Smurfs can do when staggering one at a time, but looks like Taters just had the ults in their pocket to be able to kind of push that payload in.
Yeah, you can't count them out. They can do crazy things, especially on characters like, you know, Junkrat, or we haven't seen any Doomfist yet, but Doomfist can come in, and Tracer, and you can get complacent if you're on the attack and you think you seal the deal when suddenly, you know, a Junkrat kills 3 people with a couple mines, and yeah, it can go either way. So nice from the Tater Tots, full capping that. That's a comfortable place to be, especially on Eichenwald, as it is currently 1-0 on the side of Sandbagging Smurfs.
Now we just need to see them kind of not play this too passively. They want to hold this choke just like Sandbagging Smurfs did, but Flanagan has to be very careful not to overcharge because we saw that's how Taters took the point from Smurfs when Bambi kind of went in a little too aggressively.
Right, yeah, Flanagan's got to be careful here. Somebody in chat's asking for the cow to be played. I'm sorry, but that looks like it's not going to happen. Hey, Hanzo, Storm Arrow takes out Urza Shield on its own, so it's a tough world to be in for the cow. But we won't see that particular character on this map, likely. And that's really one of the big changes we're seeing is Zomdilin on the Hanzo. So no more Junkrat. Outer Heaven's now on the McCree, and Hanzo, I'm partial to Hanzo. I love him. I think he's very good at most maps, but particularly in this map, you can get some cheeky headshots just in this choke as everyone's trying to push through. D.Va does make that hard because she cancels out everything, but Yuki Yoshida already has 21% of her ult just from them to get to choke. That's a good place to be. And we are yet again waiting, I guess, for a good opportunity from Sandbagging Smurfs to reach through this choke. Really, both teams are probably just looking for one team to get over aggressive, and of course, as I say that, Flanagan pushes forward and swings. I think what we're seeing here is Sandbagging Smurfs, maybe saw from the first map, that if they just kind of play too slow, Flanagan eventually might get a little antsy and decide he wants some action, and he's going to go in and swing, and he swings to his death. So he's got to start adjusting his gameplay, I think, a little bit, because that's not going to work out for the Tater Tots. However, it looks like the pressure from Tater Tots was enough to stop the advance of Sandbagging Smurfs long enough for Flanagan to get back. Bambi gets Flanagan again, holding this corner, playing a little bit more safe. Excellent Dragon Strike comes out from Zomdilin, cleaves the team in half. Immofield's out, and Flanagan is left out stranded on the other side of that. And at this point, they're going to probably be able to just take the point off of that ultimate.
Yeah, unfortunately, Frosty was on their way back from spawn when Smurfs decided to push into that fight. And they kind of took a bit of a separation there, which was smart of them.
Yeah, they invest the nano boost, does Tater Tots, onto McCree, Blue's McCree. And I'm not too against it, actually. You know, a couple good headshots in the mix and it could have come back. However, I am definitely against that, as at that point, with the 6v1 scenario and ammo field up, the Riptire was destined for failure.
Almost hoping that that's a changeover, like an ult, because they were going to change characters, but it seems like Yuki will be sticking on this Junkrat.
Yeah, I mean, there's a world in which, you know, Kazurai is too slow on the ammo field, but that's not the world we live in, especially when there's no other threats on the board. I mean, everyone's looking at that Junkrat, so it was a little optimistic. However, Yuki Yoshido has been giving these Riptires quite quickly, so it shouldn't cost them too much. Earthshatter comes out on the staircase, catches both tanks. Nice job from Flanagan. And Shoy's going to pick up the kill there, as I think they're going to spill out of this staircase. Will Tater Tots to sort of hold them at this gate. And again, the bleeding time off the clock is really what the Tater Tots need. They don't need to hold this point in particular. They just need to get it to overtime by the time it's third point and have enough ults to seal the deal. So
Yeah.
looks like they're going to hold the low ground here. Interesting take.
Kitty pushed in there super aggressively and kind of got taken out of mech by Zombie Dylan, so it's nice to see Taters following up to make sure that they kept her alive. And that sort of then caused Sandbagging Smurfs to turn their back there to Flanagan, which allowed him to get that ult off to continue to save her.
Yeah, good teamwork coming out of the side of Tater Tots. Good Earth Shatter coming out of the side of Bambi, and an immediate high noon from Blue on top. Unfortunately, is denied by Diva. That pesky character should be deleted from this game because she makes so many DPS cry. And unfortunately, that is going to be, well, unfortunately for the Tater Tots, that is going to be the end of that fight. As Redu Kitty should probably jump off the map at this point. Gonna get staggered here. Well, no, she gets out actually, very close, but she manages to stay alive. The sports come in just in time. High noon from Outer Heaven this time, at least gets out Immortality Field. Zoom Batty with the Diva Bomb is beautiful. Senses that the Immortality Field is down and gets a triple kill. And now it is a snowball on the side of Sandbagging Smurfs there. Absolutely beautiful Diva Bomb from Zoom's Batty.
And poor Kitty did try to counter with their own Diva Bomb, but unfortunately it went straight into the hole.
Oh, I missed that. You hate to see it. Oh no, that's backbreaking. As a huge anti-nade comes out from Shoya, giving Tater Tots a bit of a chance here to stabilize at 0.64 meters. Yuki Yoshida goes for the hero play, but Zoom's Batty is right there to beam him down, However, while they were trying to take care of Yuki Yoshida, the rest of the Tater Tots were getting work done, and I think they're going to be able to hold here.
Now, I'm not sure if I caught this or didn't. It looked like Flanagan tried to use ult there, but was stunned out of it by Outer Heaven. Already, though, it doesn't seem to be that, that big of a miss because he is back up at 75% of his ult charge here.
Yeah, a lot of swinging there when everyone's all grouped up trying to get that point over. Very nice hold there at 0.64 meters by Tater Tots to make sure the spawns don't push forward. And we're going to see a different approach this time from Sandbagging Smurfs. They're going to go through Castle. They've got a high noon, and that's about it. Both tank ults are closed. Dylan, has the Dragon Strike, and it does yet again isolate Flanagan. However, this time Flanagan's ready for it with an Earth Shatter that catches 3. Immortality Field coming out from Frosty Fusion keeps him alive just enough, and a nice stabilization there from Tater Tots. However, if you're Sandbagging Smurfs, you really only invested Dylan's Dragon Strike there, so really not too bad of a drive push there, as you're looking for this to be the fight to seal the deal for a point 2.
Tater's doing a very good job of just kind of eating this clock down and being able to push that payload back kind of halfway across bridge. So, just kind of need to...
slowly creeping back. Outer Heaven, high noon from the heavens, catches nobody. Everybody hunkers down and completely negated there, but it was worth a try. That ultimate doesn't get too much value typically anyways. Now we meet square up on the bridge halfway through. Nanoboost comes in. Flanagan finally able to play aggressive, but he gets knocked flat on his butt for the majority of it. Then he's got to hold his shield up for the Diva Bomb. The one chance to shine, and while his team did end up winning, unfortunately he didn't get to swing. I feel the pent-up aggression from Flanagan there. I know he's frustrated, as unfortunately, but he did the job. He absorbed the damage that he needed to. And now 12 seconds left, and Sandbagging Smurfs are in desperate stall mode. Bambi goes to ball. Zomdylan's on Tracer. Both support ults are closed. Bambi hits just to trigger overtime. Shoya is low, but she's got the support that she needs. Zomdylan is going to try to take out a support. Zomdylan takes out 2. He's not just trying, he is succeeding. As just like that, this fight is wide open. X-Flames ends up wall riding off the map. That's a bit of an unforced error. Immortality Fields are down. Very nice window plays from Frosty, but Zomdylan is unstoppable here with a triple kill. 1v1 onto Frosty Fusion through the window, and now it's just Flanagan. A fatty shatty from Flanagan in the last second knocks them all down, and Yuki Yoshida with the 10th Riptire of the round catches Zomdylan. That's a huge pick. Zomdylan's been carrying this fight so far, and now it's just Yuki Yoshida versus most Sandbagging Smurfs, but the spawn advantage from Tater Tots is enormous. They're going to have so much time here. Red Kitty swinging to win, on ball, gets caught up there. They're having trouble taking her out. In comes Shoya, Sleep Dart misses, and Outer Heaven swaps to the Doomfist. Bomb comes in, catches Red Hood Kitty. Now Flanagan's back. He needs another Shadow and Pronto, but unfortunately Outer Heaven on this Doomfist is killing everything in his sight, and he's going to be able to clean up the rest, I believe. As I say that, Yuki Kitty does end up getting back in time, and I still believe that this is going to go the way off Sandbagging Smurfs off of a heroic play. First from Zom Dylan to open that fight with a triple kill, and then by Outer Heaven to seal the deal. Great DPS play from Sandbagging Smurfs tonight.
Yeah, one thing I really liked that we saw Sandbagging Smurfs do is they were, the 2 DPS, they were letting the tanks sort of handle point, and the 2 DPS were purposely cutting off any Taters that were trying to come back to the fight, creating a longer stall and stagger.
Very nice positioning, especially when you're playing a one-shot here like Doomfist, and suddenly it's been the stagger fest halfway through point 3, and Tater Tots are they've been on their heels this entire time. They're getting staggered. They've got one more chance to get 6, and all they're going to have is a nano boost. It might go on to Flanagan again. It's Flanagan's time to shine part 2. He's got to be big. Here he comes. He's got the nano boost. He charges in, hits nobody, but he's swinging to win. Bambi's trying to stall. X-Flan's caught in the trap. I think he's just standing still. And Flanagan does end up catching Kazurai. Fat Chatty onto Bambi. Bambi's getting heroically healed. Outer Heaven, though, still alive. Kills 2. Someone's got to kill this Doomfist. Doomfist is doing way too much work here. Outer Heaven is. Nobody can kill him. Oh my gosh, Bambi and Outer Heaven are doing so much work by just the 2 of them that they're going to end up taking that point.
Good job on Taters for stalling that, though, and able to take that time off as much as possible, because Sandbagging Smurfs kind of sort of rolled through that 3rd point by going to meet Taters at the spawn and playing that aggressively to sort of trap them in there and, cause the staggers, which meant Taters had to kind of group up, wait for their 6 in order to go out to touch point. So it was a good job by them to do that, too.
Yeah, and it just seems that in most games that I cast, one of the craziest things that always ends up happening is a Doomfist out of nowhere. Somebody picks Doomfist. That person knows how to play Doomfist in an overtime situation and just cleans up, and the other team is not ready, is not prepared for it. I don't know if the focus fire just isn't there. I saw Blue catch Doomfist out with a flashbang towards the end, but it's just too late. You can't look at the Doomfist after he's already killed 3. You gotta look at the Doomfist now, because Doomfist one-shots people, and he will continue to do so until he is focused.
Yeah, unfortunately, Blue on the McCree had to deal with both the Tracer and the Doomfist, which makes it very tough on, who's your target priority there, because Zombie Dylan on Tracer was really focusing the supports down there and being a menace to them, whereas on the front line you have Outer Heaven, and he is just doing the exact same thing to the tanks.
Yep, absolutely. DPS duo from Sandbagging Smurfs are in full force tonight. So we see a little bit of a swap up coming on the side of Tater Tots as Yuki Yoshida is on Echo, but this Echo doesn't have a pocket, so she's got the healing orb from Frost Diffusion. She's going to have to play a little bit safe here to make sure she doesn't get deleted, as Outer Heaven can aim on this McCree. We've seen that so far. And we're also looking for Flanagan not to play too aggressively here, as typically this choke has been hit. Yep. Okay. As Flanagan doesn't like this choke, I think we can tell, is what we've learned after three times they've met on this choke, and 3 times he swings till he's dead. So again, I think part of that, it's not totally his fault, as Frost Fusion has to keep that orb onto Yuki Yoshida, which means Flanagan's not getting the heals maybe that he's used to. Window comes out early in the choke, very nicely placed. Red Hood Kitty, I think, is just trying to get somebody's got to touch point here. It's going to be Flynn. They've swapped places now. Red Hood Kitty manages to catch out Bambi. Nice play by Red Hood Kitty, and Transcendence comes out just in time by Frosty Fusion. I think they actually have this, does the Tater Tots, as I'm actually not even sure how they managed to swap that. They sort of ended up swapping places with the defending team. Sandbagging Smurfs caught them off guard there and breathe a sign of life into this second map.
Now it's a matter of how far can you push this payload during this overtime. So Flanagan really needs to try to stay up as much as possible. The focus definitely, once, if he goes down, then it's going to be a little problematic for the team.
Yep. Tater Tots are on borrowed time here. Any meter here is good meters, because as soon as they get off the point, it's going to be over here. Their attack will be. So Sandbagging Smurfs knows that this is the conditions they're in, so they're going to hold. They're going to completely avoid the high ground. Besides Outer Heaven, they're going to hold right down at the gate. Oh, Zoom's baddie with the excellent Diva Bomb catches two people in the back line, and now it's up to Zomdillan with the double kill on the conch mine, and that'll spend the end of Tater Tot's second attack.
I like that they did meet them kind of in that little choke area, and we saw the second that Zooms' Diva was in the back line there, Outer Haven was going straight for that high noon in order to, catch that Rhine Shield turned around just to clean up anybody kind of in the back trying to hide from that would have pushed forward to try and hide from it.
Yeah. I'm getting other DMs saying that I'm pretty quiet, and I have my... Is your, when you go to party chat, is that meter between party and game, is that like all the way to the side of game chat, do you know, or something?
On adjust audio mix?
On party chat, and then adjust audio mix.
All the way to party. All the way
to party. Interesting. I'm not sure what the deal with that is. Let's see what I can do here.
It looks like we are getting a battle cow on the side of the defense. Gotta make a Dab happy here.
Oh yeah. Did I just get louder?
To me, it sounds like you did a little bit.
Okay.
But chat, what do you guys think?
I'm cranking this up as much as I can. Okay. Yep. Dab is happy as Kitty's on cow. So double shield coming out on the defense for the Tater Tots. They're going to try to play a little more safe, probably bunkered up with this Torbjorn. And well, it doesn't really matter, I suppose, as Sandbagging Smurfs are able to clear the choke there, get to the other side of that large tower. And now they square up right on the point. Flanagan's got to be careful here. He's got to play safe. If he dies here, the point's probably over. So he's going to... Well, he's going to push a little bit. I think he's trapped, but he's not dead yet. Emofield comes down the side of Sandbagging Smurfs, keeps Bambi alive. Bambi's purple, however. They immediately got to back up and play a little safer. Window comes out early from Kazurai, and it's answered by a Nano Boost on the front again. Finally, Flanagan can yet again, or finally he can play aggressive, and it's a massive Earth Shatter. Catches 4 people into the Fire Strike. Man, Flanagan probably wishes he was always Nano Boosted, because it's about the one chance he gets to swing that hammer.
Yeah, I really like that we saw Flanagan. He was kind of playing around Red Hood Kitty's shield in order to be able to swing a lot more often. So I think this double shield kind of is more beneficial for him.
Yep, helps play his strength a little bit. Zomdillan goes for a desperate Riptire there, but it's too far away and it gets taken out, I think, by the turret. Blue's turret auto-aim onto the tire and killed it. A heroic turret there. And second map goes to the Tater Tots.
I think once they kind of found their bearings a little bit there and learned how to play the two shields, it was definitely a lot more impactful for them on the side of Taters.
Yeah, I like this flex we've seen by the Tater Tots here, changing to a slower, more condensed composition that I guess synergizes more with itself, and so it's a little more protective, enables Flanagan there to survive longer. And again, that Torp turret actually in that last fight did a ton of work, killing the Riptire, and I think it killed 1 or 2 people as well. Dabarella and chat's very happy to see both the Cow and Torbjorn in the same map there, both of them being played to success.
All right, and for our next map we go to Volskaya.
Volskaya. Okay, and that's a more open map of the 2 CPs, which means less Symmetras and Junkrats. Typically more hit scans are out to bat. And we'll see if there's any changes on either side here, as that was an incredibly close map. Could have gone either way, but certainly closer than the first map was, as Lijiang was kind of a rout by Sandbagging Smurfs. So we're in for a good map here.
So we do have a couple of swaps here from them. And then we have the lovely spectator swaps.
Looks like Budweiser is coming in to shake things up on map 3. I think Bambi definitely played well there. No complaints from him, but might want to swap things up again. Sometimes you can see dive on Volskaya. You see monkeys come out, which is something you typically don't see on Eichenwald. So maybe they want to swap up their tank line for that.
Yeah, dive with like a double bird would be a really good kind of strong attack. But we did see the sneaky sim plays on Lijiang, so I wouldn't be shocked if we saw something kind of similar here.
Yeah, I have not seen much sim on Volskaya recently, but that does not mean it is not effective. And it certainly worked against Tater Tots, as they were not expecting both the high-powered beam damage off the Symmetra and also the cheeky TP flanks that came out on Lijiang. So we could see more of that coming out here on the third map.
And I know for a fact Outer Heaven loves to play sim and loves those kind
Oh,
of sneaky strats like that.
he did well on it. It's not surprising that he likes doing it. If you have the ability to track and you got a team that will protect you, um, it typically works out here. So
Okay, so just waiting to see what Taters.
Tots is still ruminating on their options here. If they want to flex anybody in, they do have a ton of spectators here, a ton of options.
Yeah, I think
They
this
will
is
read.
one of the more fuller lobbies that I've dealt with in a while.
Yeah, this is a full house. We have Reed coming in for Red Hood Kitties, which means Flanagan is staying in. So Reed and Flanagan, Yuki and Blue are going to stay in at the DPS duo, and then DPS duo, and then Emmy and Esbilia are coming in as the supports in the place of Frost Fusion and Shoya. So quite a large shake-up there on the side of Tater Tots. Not as much shake-up from, well, actually, as I say that, Alchemist, Budweiser, and Thunderfarts, great name there, is coming in.
All right, and we have readies from both teams. I like the efficientness here we have from them.
Yep. Nice job, coaches.
I know everyone in the league knows we have that 7 minute kind of in the lobby thing, so having it ready to go 2 minutes after is always a very nice thing.
Yep. And it can be tough because you want to adapt. You can come in with a plan before the game, but then sometimes you need to adapt after you see what the team is doing. I don't think anyone was expecting. Oh, Dab. Can't you let me? Why you have to bully me? I don't think anyone's expecting Sandbagging Smurfs to come out so aggressively on that first map, and certainly Tater Tots weren't. So sometimes you need to change up on the fly, and that can take some time, especially if you want, the input of the team. You got so many players, so nice job with a pretty concise discussion there within the teams. And we get into map 3, which is Volskaya. More open map. And it looks like, well, this time we're seeing Zom Dylan hover on the Symmetra. I wonder if that's just to get them out of spawn, or we're actually going to see some sim junk plays. But on the side of Tater Tots, Flanagan flexing over to the Zarya, maybe more, he can be a little more aggressive like he clearly wants to be with high charge Zarya here, and get some, pump some good damage into Budweiser there. And it's Billy on the Mercy. First Mercy I think we've seen all match. So pretty good on a defense 2CP if you ask me. The resurrection is very powerful here. So Outer Heaven on the Hanzo. Flank TP comes in, but it's hardly even needed. It's Outer Heaven catches out Yuki Yoshida almost immediately with the Storm Arrows. Resurrection does come in from Asbelia, very powerful, like I said, onto CP. Bad Reads responds with a nice charge onto Outer Heaven, which is the majority of the damage here. Zom Dylan is left there with his high-powered beam. He's trying to track down Emmy, and he does a very good job of it. So it was actually looking like the Tater Tots were about to stabilize there off an knife charge from Bad Reads, but Zom Dylan, and you can see there with the 50% to his ult charge, Zom Dylan there was left uncontested, had the full charge of Symmetra beam, and he had the tracking to back it up. So first point very rapidly captured off of by Sandbagging Smurfs.
Yeah, Bad Reads unfortunately backed himself into that small corner, and 4 of the Sandbagging Smurfs kind of just turned immediately for him, which was smart of them, and he wasn't really able to get any heals from Emmy Mouse.
Yep, and immediately a flank TP yet again comes in, and just like that, the entirety of Sandbagging Smurfs are on the point. But Zom Dylan is the one who is the victim as Blue gets a nice headshot. Alchemist, though, responds in Emmy Mouse, and now it's anybody's game. Charge comes in from Buttweiser, catches nobody, and now they're on the back foot as Reed is getting all the support he needs to swing away until no one is left on the side of Sandbagging Smurfs. So nice stabilization there. It's always scary when Sandbagging Smurfs goes for those TPs plays where instantaneously there's a Reinhardt in the middle of the enemy team. That buff Reinhardt swing damage, I believe what it's at 85 now. It can kill you pretty quick if you're not paying attention. So
Zom Dylan over
good
to the
stabilization.
Junkrat, which I'm very happy to see because you can only get away with sneaky sim plays, you know, once on each kind of
Right.
point like that. So
Yep. Yeah, I think Tater Tots figured out how to play around that. Yuki Yoshida does get an early pick onto Zom Dylan, which is probably going to completely halt Sandbagging Smurfs here. They're not going to be able to. They're not going to try to want to push this with the spawn advantage that Tater Tots have without the full team, especially not without Zom Dylan there, as he's most. Well, I say he's most damaged. But Outerhaven there gets a nice headshot onto Yuki Yoshida, which is the go button for Buttweiser. He's going to push onto the point, and Thunder Farts with the big coalescence allows them to push in. However, Reeds has a massive shatter to shut it down, and the Graviton Surge is there to follow up, but hardly anybody is dying from it. I guess Blue does have that high noon onto Outer Heavens, and Yuki Yoshida finally closes out that map. That push was very dicey from both sides, but the Rip Tower catches 3 means it's another one fight from Tater Tots.
good res there from Aspelia, knowing that Sandbagging Smurfs are kind of stuck in that grav there, so she could safely, you know, bring everybody back into the fight and kind of keep them up.
Yeah, and that was a very nice Riptire by Yuki Yoshida, but I want to point out that very nice Earth Shatter by Reeds caught the Coalescence Mora and the Buttweiser, who was getting a little aggressive there and really halted that attack. I think without that Earth Shatter, they probably lose that point, does the Tater Tots, but we've reset here. Buttweiser's got his own Earth Shatter, and he wants revenge, so we're going to see that pretty soon. Outer Heaven has the Dragon Strike, and he uses this, yep, and he does get revenge on the Earth Shatter. He catches 3 in the front line, and Bad Reeds goes down, and now it's emergency mode for Tater Tots. They're just stalling until the Reinhardt gets back, but Buttweiser, however, goes down before he has a chance to use his own Earth Shatter. Outer Heaven in the backline the whole time is just doing so much damage. He's been unchecked that at this point it's stall mode for the Tater Tots. Yuki Yoshida with the heroic double kill, though. Reeds is back. This is looking grim for Tater Tots, or it would be if they didn't have such a massive spawn advantage. And this rally from Emmy Mouse is so annoying because it really slows down these stagger kills that you want to get if you're Sandbagging Smurfs, and it's yet another stabilization. However, it was not without a heavy cost. Well, I say that 3 ults were used, but Blue's almost got his next pulse, his first pulse bomb rather. Outer Heaven has been holding on to this Dragon Strike, and he's been using this very well to split up the Tater Tots. So we're looking to see another good one. He does a good job of splitting off the main tank Reinhardt. So we'll see if he tries to lead off early with that.
So it looks like they're going to wait to reset and get Alchemist back in the fight. Would be nice if we saw Alchemist kind of on the Zarya, because that would have paired really well with Outer Haven, being able to kind of, you know, Dragon Graph if possible, but...
Yeah, he won't have that combo. He's going to have to do it just with his own game sense. Bad Reed charges in, it's pretty aggressive, but he doesn't get punished for it, and in fact Yuki Yoshida there gets a pick onto his counterpart in the meantime, and it was a beautiful Graviton Surge. The pulse bomb probably honestly wasn't even necessary. The hammer swing would have finished the deal, but you know, Tracer gets pulse bomb pretty quick, and it was pretty juicy, and it 100% ensures that fight is over. Yet another one fight for the Tater Tots, and suddenly 4 minutes has been drained off of this clock after what was an excellent first push on point A by Sandbagging Smurfs. They've been completely halted here. They have not found a way to crack through to even get a tick, and this time the answer looks to be a Diva Bomb coming in from the top. Yuki Yoshida, I'm not even sure where she was, but she goes down to that random Diva Bomb. That's horrible. You hate to see that. Dragon Strike goes in onto Reeds as he's getting charged, and he just gets decimated. Buttweiser turns around with no shield in the way. He gets a fatty shatty, and a very decisive play there means a couple ticks at least are going to get from the side of Sandbagging Smurf. Yuki Yoshida's back, but goes down to the Riptire. Blue's on a trap. Ooh, any hopes of a stall from the Tracer goes down quick with that trap. Now we're going to swap to Monkey for the cleave damage, but the focus fire there on the Sandbagging Smurf is just too much. It's only Asbelia. She's looking for a Reddit play, but in a 1v6 scenario, that's just probably not going to happen. Blue's touches at the very last second, just enough to halt it, and I don't think that the Tater Tots will be able to come back from this. The gem just isn't there, not in this 1v6 scenario. I mean, they're doing a good job of at least draining time, but they're dying basically as fast as they can make it here, and that's the first. That's the attack on Sandbagging Smurfs, eventually successful.
Really good plays there from Taters, though, I do want to talk about. Before that last push, Blue was kind of in the back lines, feeding their ult back off of Alchemist D.Va. Almost got caught out, but Flanagan pushed up, gave them the bubble, and then the two of them kind of backed out of that together. Unfortunately, then that meant the team was separated when that D.Va bomb came in, so that's, I think, the catalyst of what started that sort of breakdown push there. Was Yuki going down to that?
It looked desperate, that bomb by Alchemist. I mean, it's sort of like it looked like a frustrated, we just need to push through here, so I'm going to throw the D.Va bomb into the choke before the fight starts. But it must have been a little more calculated than I thought, because it does catch out Yuki Yoshida, and Yuki Yoshida's Junkrat has been one of the major thorns in the side of Sandbagging Smurfs as they were trying to push through that choke. That Junkrat from on high was really halting them. So with that out of the way, they were able to push through, and now, as Ural states, we are having a fair fight, which is always fun to watch. I hope they ego it and try to air shot each other. It's always fun. We might get the safer play where they try to ignore each other, but we will see. And the difference we have on the other side is that I think there's more, well, there's more hit scan support on the side of Tater Tots with both Soldier and Baptiste, but Sandbagging Smurf has D.Va to fly up and eat a lot of damage, so pretty close to even in terms of support against the Pharmacy duos. And it looks like Tater Tots are going to hold a little far back. They don't want to hold the choke. And Yuki Yoshida, though, with first blood on Outer Heaven and second blood as well, catches Thunder Farts too, which means this fight is probably already over. I mean, I guess at this point, D.Va's going to get staggered. Poor Alchemist. They don't stagger them too bad. They were merciful.
So
but, yeah, Yuki Yoshida gets the better of that very first duel.
just as quickly as Smurfs took first point, so did Taters. I think Taters took it just a couple of seconds quicker, though. I think there was less of a stall on the side of Smurfs there.
Yeah, and so we immediately see Zomdillan swap off the Forest. Now it's double hit scan plus the D.Va. They don't want to mess with that anymore. So the second fight, the second point, you got to get a little cheeky with your fair positioning. You do have a lot of these sloped roofs to sort of play around to try to make a push here. And Budweiser already has to cede a ton of ground. They've already lost the first choke. But an early Immortality Field comes out from Emmy Mouse. I wonder if that's going to bite them in the butt a little later, as no ults got that out. They just, the pressure on its own. Bad Reads does end up, I think, earth-shattering Budweiser, and the Helix rockets out of Blue have been very on point this entire match, as he ends up getting, I think that's a pentakill out of Blue there. 3 kills with the Helix rocket and the 2 after. He's pretty deadly with this Soldier here, and yeah, that's a blazing fast attack there from Tater Tots.
Wow, really just good coordination there and kind of push in on that. We saw the early hammer down, I think, from Bad Reads, and like you said, they really weren't able to take too many people out, but the rest of Taters kind of capitalized on continuously pushing Sandbagging Smurfs back.
Yeah, that has left Sandbagging Smurfs a little dazed there, a little dazed and confused, as that might be, I don't know, we're not the Overwatch League, so we don't keep stats recorded here, but 5 minutes 40 seconds of time bank might be a record in Overwatch Oasis, as it was 2 fights and 2 victories for Tater Tots.
I'd say it's easily one of the top 3 times that the league has probably ever seen, if not like top 1, top 2.
So Sandbagging Smurfs should expect to see Afara on Tater Tots' second attack, but that's That they can't even think about that now because they got 1 minute and they have to at least get first point if they want to stand a chance, and probably a second. Flanagan is just, I guess, what is Flanagan doing? I don't know if that was on purpose or not. Flanagan is not going to make it back in time. All right, I mean, he
Ryan
swapped
charge.
to ball. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but in any case, we're getting Sigma ball here, and that leaves the choke wide open for Sandbagging Smurfs to get there without any opposition. Here comes Flanagan just in time to sort of boop in and slam as if he was never even gone. I don't know if they noticed, but Batteries in the meantime had to drop down and contest point, and it was just too quick. There just wasn't enough pressure from the Tater Tots, and just as rapidly, well, I mean, it's not over yet. Yuki Yoshida is on the top with the high ground, so if he gets, I don't know, 6 or 8 straight headshots, there might be a chance, but that's going to be basically impossible as Flanagan now rolls away. Well, he tries to roll away, but he bites the dust there.
Yeah, Asbelia dropped down to kind of try and heal Flanagan there, but I think she would have been better suited to stay up on top with Yuki. They could have at least kind of stalled out a little bit more, but then at the same time, they also might have been caught, divided from the team, so...
Yeah, that was a blazing fast attack there, and now, with 20 seconds left, Sandbagging Smurfs are going to have to make something work pretty quick because they won't get another one. Outer Heaven almost has his Dragon Strike, and he's been using them to great effect so far in this match. Let's see if he can split anybody out. However, Torbjorn is close to, Blue Scorpion's close to Molten Core, which is very good for this point too. Winnow comes out early. Another great Dragon Strike. Reed is caught in this corner. He's got nowhere to go and he dies. It also catches out Emmy Mouse. Collateral damage there. Beautifully played. Alchemist now with the bomb is going to take out Reed's shield. So he's just sitting there. Poor cow's all in his own, and goes down pretty quick. Yuki Yoshida yet again goes there just to eat a flashbang with the defense matrix and die. And now it is a desperate defense from Tater Tots. X-Flames drops the beat drop just to ensure that nobody goes down. As well, I mean, as Asbelia does have the Valk to stay alive and stall, and Blue does get the Molten Core, however, doesn't cover quite enough the point for the Sandbagging Smurfs to really care about it. Bad Reeds is a sniper with this. Arista does end up getting a kill. Wait a minute. Blue, though, with the kill. Yuki Yoshida, the double kill, high noon. They hold.
I do like that Asbelia used Valk to get out of spawn that much quicker. Some people might think that it's a little bit of a waste, but you definitely want to get to point as quick as possible there. So compliments to that. Allowed her to kind of help keep Flanagan and, everybody just up a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, that was very, very close. I'm surprised that Tater Tots were able to hold there. I suppose they just were able to stall long enough with the Tor, Molten Core, and Asbelia's Valkyrie, and they had the spawn advantage, but it was looking very good for Sandbagging Smurfs. Okay, but at least the Sandbagging Smurfs did it well enough to where it's very winnable for them. I know they have to defend for 5 minutes and 40 seconds, but it's still very doable. They can hold it. They can go with the first point and 2 ticks in the second point. So it is definitely anybody's game. The score is 1-1.
You almost wonder if Flanagan didn't misstep there. Would they have held this first point a little bit longer, or even just a total full hold?
Keeping Tater Tots on their toes, trying to make sure they don't win too easy as he jumps, I guess, falls off the map there on point 1. But to no surprise for anybody, Yuki Yoshida is going to be on this far again, as it worked incredibly well on that first attack. But Sandbagging Smurf saw this coming a mile away, as they're going to have double hit scan with a Mercy Pocket. They're going full anti-Pharah, well, almost full anti-Pharah. They really do not want Yuki Yoshida to take over this game. And we'll see if it's going to pan out for them. I mean, someone's going to have to touch the point, and it's Buttweiser that goes down first. He's just going to, now both shields are down. Zombdillon does take out Yuki Yoshida. Okay, so yeah, Sandbagging Smurfs, all eyes are on Yuki to make sure she can't get some kills here with the splash damage. And I think that's probably going to seal this first fight, as, I mean, 3 hit scans are on the high ground with the Mercy between them is a lot of damage to try to absorb.
Mm-hmm.
What's the blue team's name? No pun intended. They are the Tater Tots. So, we see a swap Yuki back onto Junkrat. I think that's a good idea. I think it's very clear after the first attack that Sandbagging Smurfs are full anti-Pharah, and that's all they were thinking about. So, blue swaps onto Reaper. That's an interesting pick here to swap to. It could work out if he gets a good flank, but the range advantage here and the fact that they're bunkered up means it's going to be hard for him to sort of do this on his own. He needs his team to sow some chaos, and yeah, that's exactly what I was worried about. Is Reaper, if you can't find a good flank, you're going to die just on your approach. And now Zombs Zom Dylan rather has found a good reposition onto the other high ground, because Tater Tots have made it up the stairs, and all it needed really was Buttweiser to use that Sigma ultimate to halt them. However, it looks like Tater Tots are still going to try to take this. They haven't fully given up yet. They're kind of surrounded. They're waiting for spawns to come back, and this is a really weird fight, Jibs. I'm sorry, this is one hard one to cast, as people are rotating all around, a bunch of small skirmishes. It looks like Sandbagging Smurfs are finally going to win it, but that one was bizarre.
I was going to say, I don't know if I follow someone specifically on this, because we saw Alchemist drop down and start to try to take a flank. Outer Heaven is on the other side of the map. Dylan's on, the middle area. It's like, guys, pick a place, please.
Everyone looked a little confused, a little unsure. It doesn't look like Tater Tots didn't know if they should full regroup there or try to keep holding that high ground or drop. So we had a little bit of merry-go-round there, but that really worked out better for the defenses. Now 2 minutes are off the clock, and not a single tick has been given from Tater Tots. They're starting to sweat a little bit, probably because they still need to take most of point 2. Remember, if they want to win this point. And Sandbagging Smurfs are still on this high ground. Very strong 6 here, and both support, one support ult, both DPS ult are out. Bob comes out early just to start the fight onto the point to make sure that neither of DPS tanks need to drop. Buttweiser drops anyways just to make sure. He's alone. I guess he's going to have to get out of this window, and that Bob is pretty deadly.
So I think what I would like to see from Taters here, I would have rather see them kind of hold these ults after getting Sandbagging Smurfs to use so many. I'd like to see them take, opposite side on the low ground and just set themselves up a bunker on point. And once you start getting ticks, Sandbagging Smurfs have to drop to come counter you. And I think they would be better suited instead of trying to kind of meet them or, constantly go up to them.
We're seeing a lot of swaps here after, that their current strategy didn't work. And again, good money was thrown in after battle in that last fight as a Graviton Surge was used fairly late. Didn't get anything out of it as most of Tater Tots were dead. Flanagan goes in with a nice boop to get off the soldier onto the low ground. That's actually a pretty good play. We'll see if Tater Tots can make any plays off that. Unfortunately, Yuki Yoshida falls off the map somewhere, which means this is going to be very hard to make any plays if you're the Tater Tots, because again, Sandbagging Smurfs, they're so heavily bunkered into this corner with the double shield, the double hit scan, and the mercy between them. It is so hard for any of the Tater Tots to peek for even a second without dying.
Yeah, I think Yuki was trying to get around the back line, I want to say, and maybe missed the jump somehow.
Yeah, and this is the type of play you can't really afford mistakes like that at this point in the game. As a minute and 20 seconds are left, and now they're going to be looking at, no matter what, an overtime push on point B if they can even take this first point. And again, Sandbagging Smurfs are showing no signs of getting uprooted from this point. They're happy as can be up here with these double shields, and nothing has threatened them at all. And as soon as they try to make a play, does Tater Tots, Sigma's ultimate comes out onto Reeds, takes out most of his heads. Coalescence comes out from Asbelia, and Flanagan with a very nice kill onto Thunderfarts early on. Yuki Yoshida takes advantage of the lack of immortality field to get a nice kill with a Rip Tower, and finally, and the final hour, did I mention this is final because we're only 45 seconds left on this final push, is Tater Tots taking this first point, and now they're going to be probably in overtime for the second point.
Would like to have seen Blue try and get some kind of angle to catch somebody out of spawn if possible, especially with this Tracer Bomb, the Pulse Bomb, but smart to kind of wait for the team here too.
Yeah, they're going to want probably a clean victory. They want to get their kills pretty close together here with the spawn advantage that Sandbagging Smurfs will have. Early Bongos comes out from Alchemist, which basically stops the fight before it started, as bad reads jet boost straight towards it, maybe trying to kill it, maybe he knew he was dead. And at this point, what you're really hoping is that Flanagan just doesn't die late, because they're waiting for Reeds to get back. And unfortunately, it's looking like the Tater Tots are going to get staggered. They're in this side room. They're trying their hardest to survive. Buttweiser's not pushing in, so they haven't died yet. Ooh, we see Blue in the flank, though. He's looking for a cheeky pulse bomb on the Thunderfarts.
Oh, but I think Yuki just kind of gave that up.
But he doesn't even need the pulse bomb, because Yuki Yoshida goes in at the same time, and Thunderfarts goes flying into the air, resurrected by X-Flames. In goes Immortality Field to keep most of Sandbagging Smurfs alive. Diva Bomb is completely blocked by Buttweiser. And now the Zombies on the high ground with the sights. Gets booped down by Bad Reeds, but it's just too late. Third map goes to the Sandbagging Smurfs.
Yeah, I think there was maybe a little miscommunication. Yuki jumped up into that room with Blue, and that kind of caused the rest of Smurfs that were on that high ground to go turn and look. I almost wonder if Yuki hadn't jumped up there, would Blue have been able to get that pulse bomb stuck and off on one or two of the Smurf players?
Yeah, I agree. It looks like Yuki conked them all away from the pulse bomb. Now, Yuki did end up killing Baptiste, but the thing is, there's a resurrection in play. So you really want pulse bomb first kill and then go for the jump grab play, or vice versa. And using a lot of your burst surprise at the same time there really worked in the favor of Sandbagging Smurfs. Tater's down bad indeed. That is rough. That is a big hit for Tater Tots' morale, as they came into the second part of that map with 5 minutes and 20 seconds left, and Sandbagging Smurfs only had about a minute, right? So the fact that Sandbagging Smurfs won that is pretty rough.
That is also, though, you know, kind of just a good thing for them to. They just got to rebear back down. You know, sometimes you get a little overconfident with how much time you have, and teams can really just bunker down and hold on for as long as they need to. So I think Tater's now seeing that Sandbagging Smurfs has that capability. They know how to sort of address that issue now if that happens again on the next map, which I need to check what the next map is. You know, knowing that Sandbagging Smurfs can super bunker down like that, they'll know how to attack it a little bit better next time. We are going to Junkertown.
Yeah, and I mean, 4 minutes or 5 minutes sounds like a long time, but you know, one fight is lost because you went on Farah and they were ready for it, so you reset. One fight's lost because, you know, Junkrat accidentally falls off the map. That's another 30-40 seconds off the map. And then they had that one fight where everyone was sort of do-si-doing and you know, climbing up the stairs and going back down. Benny Hill music was playing, and that fight alone cost like a minute and a half, so it can whittle down pretty quick. Let's see. Richard says literally Taters just need a Lucio, and they won first easy. Lucio, could definitely. I mean, you could have booped him off high ground, could have helped the speed in to catch the double shield. Bolton's Monster says he wants to see his buddy Blue in action. Blue has been in action. He's been doing very well, especially on Soldier. Dab says it's because they won Cow. Unfortunately, Cow has a 100% win rate so far in this match, so I can't disagree.
So it looks like we have the swaps from Taters here. I'm going to take 2 seconds to run downstairs and just unplug my mic so you guys don't have to listen to my dogs if they bark real quick, but give me 2 seconds.
No worries.
Yep, Zooms was in the first two maps.
Oh, both first two? Okay, well, there you go.
Zooms was getting some very naughty diva plays, bombs. I think had
Oh,
almost like a
I remember.
4 or 5K.
The Zooms. Yep, a lot of good diva bombs in general on these games, which is tricky because you typically have 1 to 2 shields in the way. Typically got an immortality field at the ready, so these divas are pretty good at finding their windows to get the multi kills.
What did I miss while I was gone? Anything? Anything fun?
Let's see. No, Zach likes the name Thunderfarts, my brother. Uh, Nothing else. I talked about Maka coming in, so we haven't seen. We haven't seen Maka yet, right? Yet.
I want to say we saw Marka. Yes, we did because we saw her on Sombra on first map.
Oh, we did. That's right. But the first map was so quiet in general from the Tater Tots. There wasn't a lot that happened. So.
I thought you were some kind of expert caster. What you doing over
Hey, I
there?
forget. I am in the moment. All right. As soon as the moment's over, though, it's out of my head. I got so much brain space, and it's all being used for the present. So I can't remember what happened.
So
But,
the first week I got back into casting, I was like, and that character is that's somebody. Yeah, that's a Moira. That's who that is.
it's tough. This game is one of the quickest games out there. So you can't. Not a lot of time to think. And now I forgot what. Speaking of time to think, I forgot what I was about to say, but it probably wasn't important.
It's always important.
Oh, thanks.
So it looks like we're just waiting for a ready from Taters. Unless I missed that somewhere. No, I haven't. So if Taters manage to win this map, we will be going to map 5. I got some faith in them. I think they'll bring us to a map 5.
I certainly hope so. I'm down to keep casting. It's been pretty quick so far. I mean, this could be Junkertown. Historically, can take a very long time though. If I recall, this can go like 6-6 pretty easily. So we might be in for a long one. And again, we just saw double shield, double hit scan come out of Sandbagging Smurfs there. On the last map, we might see that again, especially on the first point. I expect to see a lot of hit scans and a lot of shields on both teams, hopefully. Maybe the cow.
Interesting to see if we'll get a Widow or not.
Yeah, we haven't seen a Widow yet. This would be the time. If there's ever a time, first point of Junkertown is it, so...
I know Zombie Dylan can play Widow.
And I've seen Blue basically only play hit scan so far, so I'd assume they play Widow.
Outer Heaven is also a sneaky Widow, so.
Ah.
But, Junkrat's been working all game, so don't fix it if it ain't broke.
Alright. I was not at all expecting what I am seeing from Tater Tots. I won't lie to you. That is bad as anything I would have expected. We see Ball, Diva, Reaper, Zenyatta. So we have no shields with a Zenyatta. Both teams are playing Reaper. This is very interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen that comp in first point Junkertown. This map is so open. The fact that they're going no shields and basically no range is curious, but I mean, maybe they've practiced this before. They got an idea. I mean, I guess the Reaper on the side of Sandbagging Smurfs is for the close hold, so it's going to work out early on as both teams clash a few inches away from spawn. A big slam from Flanagan catches almost the entire team, and but it's Red Hood Kitty that loses his mech first. Meanwhile, Maka's moving the cart. Outer Heaven though, watch out for Outer Heaven from behind, gets a flashbang fan the hammer onto Maka. Not going to be too much of a big deal because spawn is about 5 feet away, and Flanagan ends up taking out Kazurai. Okay, so looking like Sandbagging Smurfs are going to slowly back up and cede some ground here, and Blue just sort of shoots in the middle of the entire enemy team till he's dead. So, great. But again, the spawn is still so close for Tater Tots that it's not too big of a deal.
Sorry, chat, for the dogs.
Oh, it's no worries. I can't hear very loud, but I think you're a lot louder for chat than I am, so... Maybe they can hear it loudly. I have no clue what's happening here, Jibba. This is not anything I've ever seen in my entire life on this map. They are brawling. They are brawling so close to spawn, out in the open. Both teams have Reapers. I don't know if they agreed to both play Reaper before this map started, because don't know if I've ever seen a Reaper on First Point Junkertown, but this is fun. Flanagan catches two with the minefield, because why not? Why not? Alright. Zomdillon's off the Reaper. He's like, wait a minute, this is the biggest map in the game. He's going to go to Sniper, but Blue's going to stay on because he almost has his Death Blossom. So they're going to be able to recontest Will Sandbagging Smurfs before this cart moves all the way in, and Kazurai's got a window. Very good for this point. The flank High Noon from Outer Heaven catches two, beautifully placed, but Blue responds with his own very beautiful Death Blossom, as Zoombatty just wasn't there with the defense matrix, and that is going to cost them a lot, as first point's going to go to their Tots.
Blue on the Reaper, definitely very interesting, because it's almost, they're expecting Sandbagging Smurfs to kind of come down to their level and forcing them to cart. But I think if Sandbagging Smurfs can just kind of settle in and play this distance now that they have the distance characters, I think they should hopefully be able to get some picks, which will prevent Taters from being able to super move the cart here.
Yeah, and I'll say on second point, at least Reaper's considerably better. There's a lot more flank options. It's a lot more close quarters. So Blue was doing work on first point. I expect he would be even more on second point. Bambi with the large Earth Shatter catches out Red Hood Kitties. Wait a minute. I guess, was that a hack off Maka? That was an EMP off of Maka to set up the bomb.
And even though the bomb wasn't really thrown too far, keeping it right on payload was smart, because that's right when Sandbagging Smurf's head dropped down. So again, forcing them to kind of play on your level.
I think the Earth Shatter got Kitty's bomb.
Oh.
If I saw that correctly, and halted it right in its place. But the EMP was still there, so it was still massive. Well played from Tater Tots.
I think in this situation, Smurfs might want to just kind of let point happen, let it go so that they can regroup a little bit better.
Well, they're going to try to get a last-minute contest here, and Blue is nano-boosted on this Reaper, and it's going to be rough for Bambi to survive as he's getting hit from about 5 different angles at once. Outer Heaven with another flank High Noon. This time it doesn't get the double kill, probably eaten by a defense matrix for once. And now Flanagan just spinning to win. I think actually Sandbagging Smurfs are going to be able to hold this. Yes, they will.
Cast a curse from me if ever there was one.
All right, so pretty close. Tater Tots just need to win one fight to end this point. And Maka's almost has EMP. So it's really going to be, the storyline here is X-Flames being able to hide from this EMP so he can get off the beat drop. If he can hide for the EMP and get the beat drop off, that would be enormous for Sandbagging Smurfs to hold here. But if Maka gets the EMP first, then it's probably just a clean-cut victory for Tater Tots.
Especially if able to kind of pair with, it looks like Blue would be the most ready here for this situation.
Yep, Maka 95 to EMP. They're all grouped up. It would be massive as you can hit this. 97%. In the meantime, Kazurai does get the pick on the Shoya though. Red Hood responds. And Blue in the back line with this Death Blossom is doing a ton of work. Again, Zoombatty not really tracking Blue very often here is what I'm noticing. This Reaper is getting a lot of value. Typically, you know, if there's a Diva, you're going to get a defense matrix in your face, but Zoombatty's been busy elsewhere, and it's allowed Blue to get a lot of value.
And while Blue did use ult, we do have Maka and Red Hood Kitty again ready to sort of have this combo, this EMP combo.
Yeah, EMP's still there, as you said, and they're all grouped up, and now it really comes down to it yet again. I mean, X-Flame still has the beat drop, but if he doesn't hide for it, the Diva Bomb EMP combo is going to be huge. This time, okay, I guess they don't even need the EMP because X-Flame's going to go down to the beat drop, the bomb by itself. Maka does go for the EMP in the end just to seal the deal because they could have probably waited that, staggered that out if they wanted to. And the cart is chugging along. Now it's halfway through the third point. And I mean, I guess at this point, Sandbagging Smurfs, they've got 5 ultimates. We're going to hear a lot of loud noises right now as they're probably going to dump anything just to make sure they don't lose this fight.
Blue already 50% back to this next ult too, so maybe...
Earth Shatter.
And that is the problematic thing about not having, you know, a shield tank.
Everyone's pressing triangle. but most people aren't dying yet, which is good if you're sandbagging Smurfs. Red Hood Kitty does find a pick there. Blue there, still killing a lot of people there on this Reaper. I mean, he has not swapped off. He's doing so well on Reaper. I'm just not sure why this is the map we're seeing it. But it's working out again. He's getting to the back line and he's not had a lot of pressure on him, and that is a pretty clean attack on the side of Tater Tots.
Shoya on Ana was doing a very good job. In the beginning, had some really good sleeps. Not on this map, but when we last saw Shoya in on Ana. But on this map, the purples and just the grenade placement to also help keep Blue up has been really impactful. I think to just enable Blue even more.
That's a good point. Chat noticed that too. Big purples from Shoya. So well played all around there. And well, I'd say this is looking good for Tater Tots, but this is about as impressive as their attack was on Volskaya, and they ended up fumbling that one, the 1 yard line. So we'll see if they can hold a little stronger now. The score is 2-1 in the favor of Sandbagging Smurfs. So
interesting that they're going to continue to roll out this sort of dive comp on attack, especially because we see Outer Heaven on the Bastion, first Bastion of the night.
I mean, again, I guess they've practiced this on this map, and I mean, it doesn't matter. Strats don't, at the end of the day, what works for your team is what matters. And if your team has good synergy with a specific comp and a certain map, then just play it. And if we're not, this isn't the OWL. You don't have to play what's perfectly meta on every single map. And honestly, I mean, they're still playing very strong heroes, right? Like, these are still meta heroes, the Sombra, the Diva, the Ball. So they're playing strong, technically strong heroes in the meta. It's just a weird map to try it out on. And the Bastion, again, it's gonna be tough for them to deal with. Well, that should have been, except for both the shield was gone and Red Zoom's baddie wasn't there for the DM, so actually Outer Heaven just sort of gets melted. I thought they had double shield, but it looks like they opted instead of Zoom's baddie to be on the Diva, which only works if Diva's looking at the Bastion. So
Maka got a good hack off. I don't know who it was on, but Maka did get a good hack on to somebody, I think, which prevented a shield from going up, or maybe prevented the eat. Aiden says they're using Shanghai Dragon strats.
Yeah. It's just a hard comp to play, in my opinion, and especially harder on such an open map. And we're seeing that a little bit here because there's no shield, Zomdillan is here on the high ground. Well, he drops to low ground for no reason and dies. He actually just jams his head into Blue's Hellfire shotguns and just gets basically one shot there. Not sure why he did that, but the Tater Tots, well, they're going to find a little bit of difficulty sustaining themselves without any shields or defenses. They have to use Nano Boost just to keep Blue alive. He doesn't get much done. The responsive bongos come out from Bambi and the window. They really want to push around this corner. And Flanagan comes in with a slam, doesn't get too much done. And in fact, Blue pays for his life with a heavily supported Helix rocket from Zomdillan. So, I mean, even though it looks like Tater Tots are essentially losing in slow motion. So the cart's been moving, and Tater Tots have been bleeding teammates, and yet it's been moving so slow that half the time bank is already gone. I can't see where is that. That is a flank use of Tactical Visor from Zomdillan, and yeah, when you get into the second half of this first point, there's barely any cover, so that was incredibly effective.
Good retreat here from Taters to kind of group back up, and they will be able to get one more push. Nice escape from Maka.
Maka has EMP. Yeah, she doesn't stagger herself there. Very nice. And she's got EMP. And in fact, they have EMP with Death Blossom, which will probably be incredibly effective unless... I mean, Outer Heaven here's with the flank high noon. There's the EMP.
But they need to touch.
Her, Death Blossom comes in, but it's so delayed that Outer Heaven's able to get a double kill there. It looks like a little bit off-timed. It looks like the EMP could have been waited a few more seconds because there was a fair deal of delay before the team followed up.
I think there was a bit of nerves there, though, because Sandbagging Smurfs were still moving the point uncontested, so Maka, I think, wanted to get the EMP off touch point if possible, but get as many people in the back.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that. Yeah, if the point was, 1 meter away or whatever, then she's got a touch. So a little unfortunate with the timing, but it happens. Not the end of the world. As we get into the second point here, Flanagan's going to open it up with the ball slam. He gets halted. He's probably going to get out because he's got a massive shield there. And Blue is just absolutely pelting them from the high ground. Get a nice headshot on his Dylan. At this point, Bambi has swapped the Orisa. Flanagan, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me once, can't go fool again. Because this time he goes in and he doesn't have his adaptive shields and he gets obliterated. So gotta wait for that cooldown to come back up if you want that to be successful. Or at the very least, gotta watch out for that halt because that will keep you in place long enough to get deleted.
Kitty able to get a nice bomb off there though to take out two. A lot of the Sandbagging Smurfs kind of went and hid in that corner, but that bomb is allowing Taters to kind of regroup back up here.
Mako with a nice pick onto Outer Heaven. That's going to basically mean that the... Okay,
Ooh,
another
Maka.
nice kill on the... Again, Maka, I said this earlier, but she's not just an EMP bot, as a lot of Sombras are. She's pretty deadly with that submachine gun. And she getting 2 picks there is opening this this defense, I suppose, but it's an offensive defense from Tater Tots, pushing back Sandbagging Smurfs. I guess Blue gets a little bit too confident there, pushes too far forward, and pays the price with his life. Window used just to sort of buy them some space, but the Transcendence will likely completely negate that. Flanagan is just causing some ruckus in the backline. He's rolling around, he's trying to boot bop and, you know, bonk people. No one's really dying from it, but they're probably pretty annoyed. Maka, another kill of Maka. From Maka on the enemy DPS, just lasered into the head. Beautiful play here from this Sombra. And again, the Sandbagging Smurfs are sort of stuck on this low ground, surrounded from all angles, and they're feeling the pressure. It's hard for them. They cannot move this very far without somebody getting picked.
I like to see, yeah, I was going to say, I like to see Smurfs are trying to take the high ground back, but unfortunately just having, you know, Blue up there along with Red Hood Kitty, the support from Shoya, they're kind of keeping control of it.
Yeah, very well well positioned by Tater Tots to sort of attack from all angles. And again, Outer Heaven has been picked early on. Probably could have used the defense matrix to get him through that choke. I'm not sure where he was. Outer Heaven sometimes goes for flanks on this McCree, and I think maybe it could have been a flank, or maybe he was just not with his team there. So that buys another 15 seconds off the clock. Now 50 seconds left, and you're pretty desperate if you're Sandbagging Smurfs. It's this point where your diva just throws out a random bomb and hopes for the best. Beautiful sleep dart from Shoya. Gets down Outer Heaven. Zooms bad. He's not there with the defense matrix, and that High Noon gets nothing. Flanagan is up in the sky. He went so high up there, most of the mines got caught above the point, but it doesn't matter because Flanagan is clobbering them in that corner. Beautiful
And
from the Tater Tots, but not beautiful if you're Sandbagging Smurfs, as you blew a lot of ultimates there and you got 0 value. Now it is just a Valkyrie, and that is not the kind of ult that's going to get a 6k unless you're Neptuno. So they're going to have some clean shots coming out from the DPS probably to make this work. Zoom Baddie is really tired of Maka, so tries to boost into her, but she's got TP, so she can just run away. Blue there's on the low ground. Okay, Outer Heaven with the swap to Pharah, gets down Frosty Fusion, and it's about to get down Shoya, but Blue's there with the support for his support, and Red Hood Kitty with the bomb takes out X-Flames. That probably spells the end of this map, as everyone's clumped up. I mean, it's a desperate ult from Zomsdillen. Well, he does have window here. Okay, it is a successful attack visor from Dylan, as he sort of do-si-dos around his own window and ends up killing 4 people.
Taters were able to push this into overtime. Need to see Shoya kind of, I was going to say, hopefully escape out, but they do have time to kind of regroup and touch here, potentially. Just need to be very quick about it.
Zomsdillen, yet again, being the overtime hero that his team needs, yet again, just like Eichenwald, right when they need him the most, he comes in there and he lands the shots they need. He gets these quadra kills that is really giving Sandbagging Smurfs a breath of life here. Transcendence comes out from Frosty Fusion to get some presence onto the point, but as soon as that's over, Zoom's Baddie's going to go in with the bomb to take out Frosty Fusion. Flanagan, though, he's up in the sky. He's flying out. He ends up killing Outer Heaven. Blue's there now with his own tag visor. He drops to low ground just to try to get the picks that he needs, and it's probably going to be enough, as now it's just Zoom's Baddie. Nano Boost comes out onto Blue, and map 4 goes to Tater Tots. 2-2, we're going to map 5.
again, kind of what we talked about a little bit from Volskaya, Taters did not, get overconfident with their time banks this time. They played aggressively. Those comps, while very strange and on a long distance map you think wouldn't work, sometimes something chaotic like that does work completely.
Yep. Yeah, so much laugh. It's an interesting comp, interesting play pattern. The fact that they just sort of brawled for minutes at the choke there, or at the spawn, was interesting. But it's fun, it's exciting, and yeah, I mean, Blue played the Reaper very well. He stuck on it and definitely got value. So good map all around.
And to Busan we go.
It's Shanghai meta. But see, if you go like the shields and the hit scans like they did, so Blue tried to play Reaper on Volskaya, and he could never make it to the team because the team was bunkered up and he got obliterated. Anybody who even looked got obliterated by the double shield, double hit scan. And that was on Volskaya where there's less range and more like flanks. If you're doing that on first point Junkertown, you've got more open space to deal with. It's even harder for the Reaper to get value. So that's why I'm surprised after it failed on Volskaya, they decided that Junkertown was the place to try. But hey, it worked out. So
All right, we're just waiting to hear their swaps and readies now.
Dab says Busan gross. I disagree. I think Busan is fun to watch. Might not be the most fun to play, but I think it plays very interestingly, and all three maps are incredibly diverse. So you see a lot of different strats. So
In this
I'm looking
league,
forward to
we've
it.
seen some interesting things on Busan. We've seen, I think, in two separate games in both tiers. One was one of the either semifinals or finals. The poor Mercy, just absolutely eaten by the train as they're trying to
Oh,
kind of survive. So it has made for Busan has made for some funny memes in this league.
oh yeah. It's why is it always the poor Mercy? I feel like every time I see someone get splattered by a train, it's a poor Mercy trying to Guardian Angel jump off to safety and
Desperately calling for somebody to please come pick me up.
yeah. The hard way. Well, hopefully they can avoid that this time around. Dabrella says she likes the one with the drum, actually. Okay.
Also, a very hard map to cast around. I dislike that one.
Yeah, that one's very open. That one's tough to survive, especially if you don't have shields.
Would be interesting to see if Taters switch up anything. I would like to see them say no swaps and kind of go with this and almost maybe go with that comp again in a way. I know Sandbagging Smurfs would be ready for it, but it doesn't seem like they had too much kind of counters for it, as much as they were trying. And I would honestly love to see Sandbagging Smurfs kind of bring that Doomfist back out again because Outer Heaven on that Doomfist was really doing a lot of work. So two sort of chaotic compositions against each other like that, I think would make for a really interesting watch.
I agree. I agree. Tater Tots were having serious trouble containing the Doomfist, and it looks like Blue is a lot more effective on the Soldier. He's very, very good on the Soldier. He's dealing a lot of value, and the McCree's a little more quiet. So forcing him onto the McCree seems to be sort of a win on its own, and that has to happen if you. Well, doesn't have to happen. It happens often if you're against the Doomfist. So. See, chat is wild. Dab likes tossing turret on the top of the drum. Is that true?
Chat, what do you guys want to see?
Dab wants to see drum map, so we'll see if that happens. Zach's #1 fan of a certain player back in for Sandbagging Smurfs. We see Alchemist in for Zoom's baddie. Alchemist, also very good diva. A little bit different styles, so maybe it'll be a bit better. I think maybe Blue's gonna try the Reaper again because it works so well there. So maybe sub in a different diva who Zoom's baddie seems to be kind of an aggressive diva, looking for big plays and deletes and sort of like a DPS diva, which works out very well, but not a lot of peel for the Reaper that we saw there. So maybe Alchemist will be more of a backline defensive diva that Sandbagging Smurfs need at the moment.
Maybe, maybe not though, because if Butt plays super aggressively like he is known for, Bambi knows how to kind of ping pong between being aggressive and not aggressive, which allows Zooms to be more aggressive. But if Butt is playing that sort of very aggressive Rhine, Alchemist is gonna have to be with him in order to kind of help bail him out of any potential situations.
That is true. Yeah, can't be at both places at once. So all comes down to how much pressure Buttweiser is facing, I suppose, against the front line of Tater Tots.
And kind of one thing I noticed about Sandbagging Smurfs, which is very good, they do play very sort of grouped up together, but that's where Blue can kind of excel, especially as the Reaper. If you get the Diva out of mech and you get the other tank down or the shield down, that whole team is going to feel the effects of, a Death Blossom.
Yep. Yep. Definitely. Okay, we're hearing Alchemist usually plays aggressive with Butt. Okay. Well, I mean, the other option is if you can just speed in and kill more of the enemy backline before Reaper kills yours, that can also work. Flanagan's out.
Flanagan's actually to support.
Oh, to support. All right, interesting. So Flanagan, there's one thing we know about Flanagan that I know now, is that he likes to get in there. He likes to brawl. He likes to fight. He wants to be fighting. So we'll see how that translates to support. I think, yeah, he looked pretty comfortable on the ball in terms of his play style, as he could, go in and not immediately die with the adaptive shields, and he got the mobility to get out. So as opposed to Reinhardt, who kind of gets punished more for that. So I wonder what, do you know what supports he plays?
I don't. For a second there, I thought maybe he was the Zen on Eichenwald, but I don't think he was. I'm trying to figure out who the Zen on Eichenwald was.
I think it was Frosty Fusion.
Yeah, it was Frosty.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, Flynn was Reinhardt.
Let's take a quick look at career profile and see. Looks like we have a Lucio player here for this season, at the very least. A little bit of Mercy, some Brig, some Zen. This season's a little hard to tell.
Right. I'd expect Lucio, especially, I mean, it's on a control map. Lucio's typically, this is where he's best. Helps get the point first, helps with the environmental kills. So, and again, it matches Flanagan's obvious proclivity to play aggressively and mobile and get in there, so helps him playing someone more mobile. So, we'll see how it pans out.
So we have the ready from Taters. Looks like the party sitter very briefly left Sandbagging Smurfs. He's back, but I just want to make sure that they're ready. Okay, they are ready. We are going to get going. Final map, guys. I feel like this for the Fantasy League might have been a bit of a bracket buster for everybody. Not sure, I unfortunately forgot to put my picks in this week because I'm big smart. And we get the train map as the first map.
Yeah, certainly, I mean, after the first couple games from Sandbagging Smurfs, certainly an improvement in their play. It's actually good to see for the, competitiveness of the league as a whole. They are come out to fight, and yeah, I'm glad we're going to map 5. It's very close. The first control map that we saw was heavily in the favor of Sandbagging Smurfs, but Tater Tots have had a lot of time to sort of read the playstyle since then in the last 3 maps that they played, so we'll see how they adapt. We see Sombra immediately from both sides. I don't know if we've seen any Sombra
We've not.
From Sandbagging Smurfs, so that's an interesting flex here.
Kirby, this is the 5th game to go to map 5 this season already. Very competitive. I 100% agree with that. In both tiers, actually. I don't think there's... Kenny commented on this the other day. There's not really a team that's super top-heavy or overly favored, because every team sort of fights back and kind of makes a name for themselves in each game.
That's what you like to see in a league. All right, both teams clash. Right in the center, Blue playing Reaper again, not surprising at all with how perfect it was on the last map. Outer Heaven, though, gets hacked early. Maka establishing Sombra dominance with the hack into headshot, and the Brawl has started on the point. However, Zomdillen with the response kill onto Bad Reads means both team missing a player, and it could go either way. Shield down on Buttweiser. In goes Flanagan. Pretty aggressive play there. He backs up. Blue is now the front line without a Reaper, and he can tank it, but it's only for so long as Sandbagging Smurfs are going to eventually spill out to this point and get the picks that are needed. Again, Zomdillen on this McCree has been getting a ton of kills. Coalescence comes out, I suppose just to make sure they don't get too pressured here, as it looks like Tater Tots are simply going to rotate around. Buttweiser caught in the rotation, or he could have been caught. He actually somehow makes it out. I guess that's pretty lucky. He didn't get hacked or charged. He just sort of walks past the entirety of the Tater Tots. Cool as a cucumber. In comes the hack. Oh, it's a beautiful EMP. It catches 4. With that down, Bad Reads is able to swing away until everyone is dead, and immediately that is a fight win for Tater Tots.
So one thing you commented on in the first map was just usually if you take, first control point, it kind of gives you a strong statistic on winning. We did see Sandbagging Smurfs take it, but Taters fought back for that almost just as immediately. So I think in a situation like this, that's not the case.
Yeah, and now we have them... Bad Reads is playing very aggressively here, don't want to give up any space. In comes the bomb, catches out Flanagan, which is very surprising, but Reads is there with the hero Earthshatter, catches out almost the entirety of the Sandbagging Smurfs. A beautiful play from Reads there, exactly what they needed. Maybe a little bit of an overinvestment in ultimates as the Nano Boost and the Reaper ultimates used as well.
I was going to say, I think we used a little too many ults because the team was actually also purple in that situation. So I think we could have probably saved both the boost and the Reaper Blossom, but
better to overuse ult and win the fight than underuse and lose it. So they'll take it for now. Oops, I'm not at all biased at all. But in comes Buttweiser with a pretty nice Earth Shatter, and Zomdillen follows up on the kill with Blue. Red Hood Kitty trying to take it back with a bomb. Again, Lucios somehow are magnetically attracted to Diva Bombs, and they always seem to die to it as they're flying off on some wall and they're not paying attention to where the bomb is. But it is not going to matter in the end, as Sandbagging Smurfs will recap the point.
Kitty off the Diva onto Azaria, I think, to kind of combat this Buttweiser Alchemist brawl a little bit better and to help enable Blue a little bit more.
Yeah, now we're going to have Red Hood Kitty swap onto Zarya, and so a lot of ult charge needed for that to pay off, and they might have time, they might actually not, as this map is over halfway complete no matter what. High Noon comes out from Zomdillen. It just buys an extra 10% of time, which is pretty decent value for a McCree ult, all things considered. Looks like Dragon Strike comes out, and uh-oh, we got a Boostio in the back line, and that is just a distraction as Maka's actually the one getting the kill onto Outer Heaven. X-Flames kills Reads, but with how much aggressive DPS we have out of Tater Tots, they're going to be able to probably flip this point. Interesting. Do you think that Boostio was a mistake?
I think that was just maybe a little bit of that auto aim, that goes to the wrong characters. But it did create a distraction. So.
It worked out. It's what he loves. He loves to be nanoed, that Flanagan does, because he went right in there and he certainly bought the space needed. Earth Shatter from Reeds, actually very nice block from Buttweiser off the off angle, but it's not enough as Alchemist there eats most of the damage right up the gut. Reeds here actually with a very deadly Reinhardt this round, putting in the work, and now overtime situation for Sandbagging Smurfs. They need to keep touching until people can get back. Thunderfarts dies at 99% to his ultimate. Brutal. He might be able to get back in time, but he does not. Flanagan with a nice boop, or I guess it was a sound wave kill onto Thunderfarts at 99%.
Also could have been purposeful to help build up the Lucio ult, so I guess we never know. I don't want to just say it's a misclick, but could have been intentional, could have been smart.
That's true. I mean, since it worked out, Shoya might say it was intentional, but if it failed, probably was a misclick. But so we'll say it was intentional.
Dab gets her wish on the worst map to cast.
It's the drum map. Yep, it's going to be hectic. No Torb, so no turrets on top of the drum. Zomdillen has swapped to Tracer. Now it's Outer Heaven on the McCree, so just a little bit of a swap up there. I don't think Maka's going to move off the Sombra unless they make her, and they're not going to make her because she's been getting value even if the McCree's on the field. They have McCree, says Darius. Curious me. Yes, they have McCree. What did I say? Alright, Sandbagging Smurfs opts to go for the flank route, while Tater Tots are having none of that business. They're going to go straight to the drum. Teams meet up on the staircase. Nice bubble for Reeds, keeps him alive as he got flashbanged. But Reeds decides he wants to go right back in. He charges in. He did catch the heal from the Ana the nade, so he's not going to die just yet. He's taking a ton of damage, but he's buying the time that he needs as everyone's looking at him, and Blue on the flank gets a nice Helix Rocket kill on his Dylan. I think this is going to be the fight. Some staggers here. Blue on the Soldier. This entire match has been a force to be reckoned with, really. I think there's Blue on the Soldier, Mach on the Sombra. This combo is really the bread and butter of the Tater Tots here.
Yeah, this is definitely something that you can obviously tell that they have practiced, but it's definitely something that they need to kind of keep in these games very consistently because it's creating a lot of pressure.
Yeah, hard to counter. Alright, well, it looks like this time Sandbagging Smurfs are going to X and A the whole flank thing and go straight to the point because that works so well for Tater Tots. Huge purple from Shoya makes the entirety of Sandbagging Smurfs back up. That is back-breaking as Outer Heaven can't even make it out of there. And now, with one kill down, Nano Boost comes on to Reeds. The response coalescence means that Reeds got to play a little bit safe, but not too safe, as EMP from Maka catches almost the whole team. And in fact, Blue probably didn't even have to use Visor there as that fight was over. Somebody ban Zachary from the chat, please. With the 2-3 ults used there, 4 ults, they're still going to have Earth Shatter from Reeds and Flanagan's ultimate sound barrier. Really, we're getting to do or die situation for Sandbagging Smurfs. Is it 64%? They cannot afford to lose this. If they lose this point, they lose the game. Buttwise is going to have to come in huge with an Earth Shatter. He's looking for it. Trying to find a good flank. Alchemist is close to his bomb, but Buttweiser gets hacked. He's so low, he has to go around the corner. In the meantime, he can't block the shatter. It's huge, but the response shatter from Buttweiser as he goes around that corner actually immaculately played from Buttweiser. Beautiful Reinhardt play. As he gets hacked, he gets around the corner to block so he doesn't get Earth Shatter, then he comes around and the response Earth Shatter. That was beautiful, and it's going to be enough actually for the Sandbagging Smurfs to probably retake this. I mean, as I say that, Maka gets a response kill, and the DMAC, and Blue's there. The DPS duo from Tater Tots just cannot be stopped. Outer Heaven, sneaking around this corner with High Noon. Uh-oh, that kills two, and Reeds is probably just going to have to die here before he staggers too long. Okay. Oh, wow. I am still very impressed by Buttweiser's Ryan play there. As he got hacked, he manages to not die. Very good support to not die, and very good foresight to get right around that corner to not get Earth Shattered and immediately response Earth Shattered. Beautiful play. Well, it looks like they're playing a lot slower now, as I think Tater Tots know all they need to do is get 6 ults and they'll win the game.
Mm-hmm.
They almost have Grav and EMP, and if they grab EMP and Thunderfarts gets caught in it and he can't get the Coalescence, the game's just over. And in fact, they don't even need EMP. Maka's so deadly,
another boostio.
Fights even starts. It's another boostio. Flanagan can't stop catching these nano boosts. He's unstoppable. He's everywhere and everyone at all times. This man Flanagan. He's in every location, and it's going to be enough. He gets the kill on the Alchemist. 99%. Well, everyone overtime is proc just because of that 99%. Dylan is desperate. He's going to go in. He reprocs overtime. He's going to have to get a major kill, but he doesn't. And in fact, the Graviton Storm stops X-Flames from touching. Just barely. He barely touches at the last second. He's buying as much time as he can, but I think that's it. I don't think anyone else can touch. Alchemist is going to go for it. He cannot touch, and the map and the entire match goes to Tater Tots.
That second boostio now definitely has me questioning: is this purposeful or not?
I mean, it's working. Flanagan is everywhere. He's always in it, and I guess it doesn't matter if they still win. But okay, this is a beautiful Earth Shadow by Reeds. Beautiful play here. Reeds that Buttweiser is trying to get a bit of an off angle on him, so he shatters the rest of the team. And well played by both teams. An interesting little arc there, as the first control map was heavily in favor of the Sandbagging Smurfs, and then the second one at the end was a complete reverse, where it was heavily in favor of Tater Tots.
Okay, so we have now asked for MVPs, so it looks like we will be seeing what the teams have to say. Yeah, well played. I mean, that's a brutal
brutal loss for Sandbagging Smurfs. I mean, especially since they were 0-2. This was really would have been their way back. I mean, the season's of course far from over, and what it shows is that Sandbagging Smurfs can certainly compete, and so anything can happen. They make it to playoff. Do all team? What's the cutoff for playoffs? Do you know?
That I do not know entirely. Kind of is going to end up depending.
Might be a little tough, but hopefully they still have a chance. Starting 0-3, I'm not sure how many matches they have, but they definitely can compete as they took Tater Tots to the very brink there. So well played on both sides. We have chat giving their thoughts on who the MVP is. Aiden says Reed or Flynn. Zach says Maka, Shoya Reeds. We're seeing a lot of Reeds and Flynn and Maka love. 6 teams make the playoffs, says Mr. Game Kirby. Okay, so they still probably have a chance. They're going to have to, probably not drop too many more games, but yeah, SBS Ryan was good. Yeah, Budweiser did play very well. So did the other, what was his name? The other SBF,
Okay.
Bambi. Bambi also played well.
So Dylan and Butt on the side of Taters has been nominated, and we're just waiting to kind of see what Smurfs have to say.
Okay. Dab pointed out Yuki. That's true. Yuki hasn't been in the past 2 maps, but don't forget. Easy to forget because it's been a while. But in those first couple maps, or map 2 and 3, Yuki was putting in a ton of work. Yeah, a lot of good performances here. I think Maka, if it were me, Maka would. Oh man, there were so many good DPS plays there. Both Maka and Blue. I mean, Zombs Dylan on Eichenwald and Outer Heaven played so well. The Tracer Doomfist combo did so much work and really helped them win that map. So it's tough here. How does this work? So they nominate 2. Do we choose?
Yep.
The 2
Yep.
give?
So not out of the 2 we give. We just take that into like a heavy consideration of who has been nominated. So to, like we said, circle back, Outer Haven, Zombie Dylan, Maka, Blue, Yuki, all of them did incredibly. I am leaning towards the Tater side for the DPS MVP on this one. I'm a little stuck between Maka and Blue. Maka was very important and did a lot of work, but I'm kind of also leaning a little towards Blue. To having played Reaper on Junkertown and gotten so much value, and there were so many times that Blue kind of just quietly, hunted down some last picks. I think Maka's EMPs were incredible, but we did see 1 or 2 that were not as well timed as some of the Death Blossoms that we saw from Blue. I think I personally would lean more towards Blue, but what are your thoughts?
I completely agree. While Maka came in there, especially on that last map with a haymaker that really sealed the deal, Blue was kind of the engine of the team, I think, this whole time. Like you said, quietly, but very effectively, especially on Soldier, getting big picks. He would open up fights with a not random, very well-placed Helix rocket. As soon as the fight, if people weren't looking at him, he was always getting a lot of picks. He showed up in the kill feed a lot, and it's not just one fight. Every time he was in, he was doing it. So I think he was in all maps. So I have to agree on Blue.
Okay, so let me just see. So I think we're going to go with Blue for that. I'm just trying to see if they gave us anybody on their end. They still have not, so kind of just waiting to see if they did. But I'm fine with Blue. Do you want to do supports or tanks next?
Let's do tanks.
Tanks. Okay, so we saw Buttweiser Alchemist combo. We saw the Bambi Zooms combo. We saw Bad Reads. We saw Flanagan. We saw Kitty. Again, another just group of people that played well. I do like seeing on Sandbagging Smurf side that there's duos, and you can see the different synergy between the duos. I think the duo that I preferred on their side tonight was the Bambi Zooms kind of duo. Bad Reads playing with Flanagan and with Kitty was also incredible. I'm not sure. I'm leaning towards 2 people. For me, it would either go to Bad Reads or to Bambi. And I'm not really quite sure which one I think was more impactful. I think Bambi played so aggressively for the team and played quite a few different characters tonight. But also then Flanagan on the ball was really good. But I
What other map was so Bambi was on the first map for sure. What other maps was Bambi in? Can you remind me? Do you remember?
Bambi was also on Eichenwald and was also on. I want to say I think Voskaya, maybe not
That sounds
Voskaya.
right to me too. Yeah. I think I would go Bambi. Bambi for first of all, Bambi on the first map set the pace for the basically set the momentum in the favor of Sandbagging Smurfs with the Ryan play. It was very very good map one, and I think all the maps he was in they won. He was very even when he wasn't hard carrying. He was never no dubious plays from him. He was either very solid or straight up carrying whenever he was in. Um, so I think I'm leaning towards Bambi.
We just
But
saw a lot of really good blocks on the side of Bambi. Never really caught out of position, except for on Eichenwald. There was that one overcharge, but other than that, I don't think we saw too many mistakes from Bambi.
yeah, okay.
They are asking if we want to do interviews after the game. That is completely up to you if you want to do them. We are not obligated to.
Um, sure. I mean,
Okay.
sure. I don't know. We can do questions on the spot. Never done that before, but sure.
So then that will bring us down to support. Tough because again Flanagan was great, Shoya was great, Asbelia, awesome, X Flames, Kaz was really good. I am gonna die on the Shoya hill. Unfortunately, I just think the impact of the Ana with the purples, with some of the sleeps we saw Shoya sleep Outer Haven on Junkertown out of the high noon. I really just think made such a difference for the team. That
I
once Tater switched off the Baptiste in the ult, kind of the Immort field, that honor really shone.
Yeah, I want to echo what Dab just said and give an honorable mention to Flynn for being
Mm-hmm.
entertaining on any role. He was always out there making plays, good plays or bad plays, irrelevant. He was making plays, and they were occurring. They were fun to watch. So and more good than bad, and they worked out. He was a big distraction, big always in there, whatever he's playing. So honorable mention to Flynn. Um, but I would agree with Shoya. As soon as sorry, he or she they started playing that Ana, main tank started dying a lot less. I don't think we saw Shoya's on the first map, and main tanks were having a real struggle surviving. And the purples, a big purple is basically an ultimate in itself, and they were pretty backbreaking. So I would agree with Shoya.
Okay, so that gets us our MVPs for the night. So it looks like we're gonna have Butt and Zombie Dylan joining us first. I think I'm gonna have to invite them to the party chat actually. So let me get that sorted out. This will be a second. Guys,
Hello.
It's nice to have a
Yeah,
nice
join us.
quiet party compared to the one we were just in. Everyone was so
A
loud.
little stressful, huh? A lot of comms are pretty heavy.
Yeah, that and like after like when we joined like the whole theme party, it was just so loud.
Yeah, well, very well played by you
Thank
guys.
you.
I'm sure, yeah, heartbreaking obviously to lose on team map 5 there, especially after the absolute killer start you guys had, setting the pace there. You completely crushed, Tater Tots on that first map. Um, and that enormous comeback on that legendary comeback on Volskaya with down 5-minute time bank, able to hold there. Um, so I think wait, who do we can we I can't see who's in the chat because it's party chat. 1 second.
we have Buttweiser and Zombie
Zombie
Dylan.
Dylan and Budweiser, yeah.
How did you guys feel about that hold, that 5 minute and 40 second hold on Volskaya. What was your plan going into that?
Well, we had a plan originally on the first hold, and obviously it didn't work. So on the second hold, I called that top right defense double shield. I thought it would shut down their far they're running, and also if they try to send TP, we'd be ready for it. And everyone just didn't give up. I'm proud of my team. I think we hung in there, and that was like a miracle basically on that map.
I agree.
It, se-
Yeah.
it seemed like you guys definitely planned the second time around for that fire because you had the double hit scan, the Mercy Pocket, the Baptiste.
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean you guys found Yuki to be a little bit dangerous that first go around?
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
I think this game in general was a lot of like I feel like we had their number originally, and then they kind of I feel like winning in the front line, and then they started using the Sombra and the Ana against our tanks, and we didn't have enough time to really figure out how to beat that.
Yeah, it looks like you guys were dictating the pace of the game first couple maps, and it really started to swing on Junkertown. What do you think was the biggest issue there that you guys ran into on that fourth map rather?
Go ahead, Dylan.
Uh, so I was experiencing some really bad lag all night, and not using that as any sort of excuse that they beat us completely fine. I was gonna play a widow and wasn't able to play a widow. That would just have been much worse. So we went for the spawn camp instead. The spawn camp didn't end up working. We used some ults that we didn't need to use. Um, then they just kind of like got the momentum and steamrolled us from there. And then especially on the defense, we never countered the Sombra. We didn't contest high ground enough as a team. We just needed to do a better job of that as a whole. And they just, like I said, had the momentum that whole map.
Truly unfortunate you couldn't play Widow there. We were both well, I was certainly expecting a Widow on that first point, so we were all very surprised to
Sorry.
see two Reapers duking
I'm
it out on
sorry.
first point Junkertown. That was an haven't seen that.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that. So sorry you had bad ping there.
No, it's okay. It's okay. That we did what we could, and I think we played pretty well. I'm happy with that tonight. Pretty good job.
Who on your guys' team do you think shined really well tonight?
Um,
Go ahead,
I would
but
say like Kaz or Honey Biscuits on that first map. She played awesome. Eichenwald, like I think that was close, and Dylan and Psycho like on the bridge. Dylan came in as the tracer and clutched, and then on the third point, Psycho popped off his doom. And, like that point should never got in there, but our DPS like made big plays.
Yeah, I'm surprised we never saw Doom again after that incredible performance on Eichenwald. If it was vaulted and never again seen.
he just
He
didn't
said
resist.
he
Yeah,
doesn't know how to play Doom. He said he just picked it to get there.
he said it was
Whatever
stop.
whatever level he knows how to play is apparently enough because Tater Tots couldn't answer it. So I'm surprised I wasn't seen more. But the season's relatively early. I'm sure we'll see some more flexes later on.
We won 0 maps our first game, 1 map the second game, 2 maps the third game. So expect the next time we win.
Yeah,
Yep, you guys look good.
thank you.
I want to give credit to. I played with Disco. I've always thought he's like one of the better supports in general. Like
Yeah, Shoya on the other team is this
on
go.
the Rhine,
Yeah.
I couldn't take a swing without being antied, and I just know he's smart. He knows how to play, and he was punishing me.
Yeah,
He's a really good player.
Yankees were big.
Purples were brutal. Yeah, we
They
definitely saw
were.
that. Although I would say he had a really good play by Weiser on that last map when you got when you got hacked and you went around the corner to not get Earth Shattered and then counter Shatter. That was probably one of my favorite plays of the entire night. So well done there. I know you had a lot of pressure there against a Sombra and an Ana. You're kind of getting crushed.
And, I mean, their Sombra was really good too. Like on that downtown, I block Shatter. I go to counter Shatter, and I get hacked out of my Shatter, and then the Rhine got nanoed. It was just the combination of Sombra and the Ana was just really good, really strong.
Yeah, it was.
Yep, rough but well played.
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
That's
I have no other questions.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's all I have for you guys.
All right. Appreciate you guys casting. Thanks.
No,
We'll,
thank you guys for the amazing game.
Thank you. Thank you.
Y'all have a good night. Thank y'all.
GG Staters. Have a good night.
Yep. Good games.
All right, so we are gonna I can add her right quick.
I just sent her a friend request.
The joys of having to do interviews when there's a team chat bug.
Hello?
Welcome to the chat, guys.
Why are you so loud when you say that? Just say hello normally. Hello.
It's my favorite person, Jumper.
Oh, wow.
I was gonna say Chip was the one who greeted us, and you said your favorite person was Jaltec.
Now I can hear
Oh,
you.
now you can hear. Okay. So, guys, how do you feel after tonight? It was a very long, hard-fought game, going 3-2.
Yes, it was.
It was good. It
I feel
stressed me
good.
out.
What was
Yeah, I mean,
your game plan going into this?
Honestly, we have such like a diverse roster now, so we kind of just did what we practiced in scrims, and then when that didn't work out, we kind of had like a contingency plan. So Maka is definitely our contingency plan right there.
yeah, I mean that first map was pretty one-sided for the side of Sandbagging Smurfs. They sort of hit you guys. I think you weren't prepared for that aggressive nature and the decisiveness in their play. What sort of conversation happened after that first map and changes that allowed you guys to adjust to take the victory?
We kind of realized like that aggression, so we kind of made the essential swaps. We changed our DPS lineup a little bit, and then we changed our you know we usually have our tanks rotate pretty well, but we kind of just go towards their hero pools and kind of like play what they're comfortable with rather than trying to force something that the other team's getting value off of.
Yeah, I noticed you played an interesting comp on Junkertown first point there with the Reaper. Definitely not expecting, a Reaper ball type composition, but it worked out, I guess, playing to your strengths.
Mm-hmm.
Typically is better than just trying to play, what you would typically see on a certain part of a map. So
Yeah,
good to
for
see
sure.
that worked.
We're just not fans of the Bastion, so we just are like, oh, you know what? We'll go with the Reaper guy.
Yeah, I mean, Maka's Sombra was a real pain in their side for every time it was in, so well played there.
Who on their team did you guys find like the most problematic to deal with? Like initially or just all throughout the game?
Um, I would probably say they're Junkrat. So a lot of people probably know by now, like Yuki is like one of our Junkrat players, and so they're kind of like trying to take that junk battle with us, and unfortunately, like they were winning most of the time. Um, Not to say that Yuki isn't great at Junkrat, but it was definitely tough on her, so we kind of had to like adjust to that as well. But their Junkrat was definitely a problem for us.
Yeah, I guess the biggest stall you guys had was that your attack, second try at the attack on Volskaya, where you guys got held for 4 minutes at least on that first point. What was happening there? We couldn't really tell, what was happening in comms. What sort of was the thorn there that stopped that from working out?
And also, what happened to Flanagan with the
Also, that's true.
the little
Did
the little
Flanagan purposely
walk?
jump off the map, or what was that?
Yeah, it was pretty much on purpose. It was just BM, so I guess that's our bad.
I mean, it worked out if you win, but
No, I'm not exactly sure what happened. I didn't really get a chance to talk about it, but just because we were focusing on the map ahead of us rather than like what happened and like how we messed up. So we kind of just um, sat down, focused on the game, on the next maps.
And that's smart. That's kind of smart to kind of look at yeah, we had a lot of time on Volskaya, but it didn't kind of work to our advantage. You got to settle in, you got to move on, and you guys, from the looks of it, settled in and moved on very well to just double down just as hard on Junkertown and on Busan.
Yeah, any non-Maka player you want to point out, highlight that you thought did really well? Because Maka got MVP. Or no, Blue got MVP.
Blue
We
got
talked about
MVP.
Maka a
Yeah,
lot,
it
so.
was
Oh,
very
okay.
close.
I
It was
like,
very
okay.
close.
Honestly, like I think the team did very well. We've kind of like found our footing after struggling with finding people, going through so many trials, all that stuff. So I think our DPS lineup is really good. We're able to like be flexible, cover each other's hero pools. So Maka, Blue, Reed, Flynn, Kitty, Emmy, like all of our team, like they're all pretty much shock callers, and they all like complement each other. So when they're even like Disco, sorry, I know he's gonna hate me that I didn't mention him, but they're all playing very well, and now we're getting like more and more coordinated. So it's nice seeing like the potential of the team and what they're coming to their own like footing.
Everyone seems to be meshing well together.
Yeah, because we are a pretty new team. Like, I mean, I'm part of the Tater organization, but I'm new to T3 technically, and a lot of our players are pretty new. We are definitely like getting to know each other, but just based off of scrims and games so far, we are definitely meshing very well. Comms are very good. It's kind of it's feeling very comfortable, like we've known each other for a while, or we've played with each other for a long time, because there's not any awkwardness or silence. We're all pretty good with keeping up with each other and making sure comms don't die and things like that. So I'm very happy for our team, and I'm very happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's good to hear.
I don't have any other questions for you guys, really.
Okay. Well, quick shout out to Shoya. He's a great Ana player. He'll love me later for that. Great nades.
Sandbagging Smurfs also shouted out Shoya, so.
So
Okay,
I
well,
guess
yeah.
we picked a good
All right.
MVP for that one then, at least.
Yeah, doing a lot of work there.
Okay. Well, he cannot say that he did not get enough love tonight then.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you guys so much for casting our game. I really do appreciate it.
Of course, anytime.
I love the
Fun
Jibba.
matches.
Alright, see you guys.
Have a great night, guys.
Good night.
All right. Well, very fun match to cast. Thank you, Jibba, for casting with me. You did much better than I did on the camera when I'm alone, so.
Thank you, as always, for joining me. Chat, at some point later this week coming up, there are more games. I'm going to try and quickly check. I don't think any games are scheduled. Yeah, no, Monday, Diving Phoenix versus Cosmic Omnix is going to be our next game. That will be at 7:30 p.m. CST, 8:30 EST. So definitely tune into that. I think that's the only game right now for next week that's scheduled. So it'll be a good one. But other than that, thanks for joining us, everybody, and have a great night.
Bye, everyone.